out a little bit, babe.
A bit flat?
Yeah. It wasn't really rocking. So, it says 25 seconds going live, or it's been live, but waiting on Dre to see if he takes the X up.
Oh.
Either way, just gonna keep
You know
going.
what you should set up? You should have messages on your iPad.
Yeah, but that's gonna be like multiple facets of things blinking and having to respond.
I know, but you can text people from your iPad.
Yeah.
And then that frees up your phone.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, I didn't see a text for 5 hours. You can literally just text from the iPad.
Having to do all this technical gun shit is not fun. Especially when you'd like to make things up. What is this, a job? Doing this for real? Says waiting for guest. I don't know if he's even gotten the invite. I sent it to him. See what happens if I put on this. Baby's making all the noises.
Is it on?
Yeah.
You're live.
Yes, baby. Dre's like, yo, anytime you're drawing, you should be making content. I can't draw like that. That's too weird. It's too much to pay attention to. I can't really zone out. Put a banana clip instead of see how his head's a little shaped different. Oh, nice one. See? God damn, Dre. There we go. You hear me?
I'm gonna have to kill my phone. I got. Yeah, how's that?
It's good. I think what happens is because I got my iPad on with the phone, so I think one of them might cancel the other one out. And I don't know, but I kept doing invites or trying to take yours, just wasn't going.
Okay.
But we're on now. I don't know who's seeing what. It says 5 minutes live on mine, but yours turned off.
My live turned off?
The one that was on my YouTube screen on my iPad, it's just showing your screen. But over here, you got an angle on yours, kind of like a downward shot. You're on mine. I just don't see it on your channel.
Huh. All right, but my live says I'm still going. On my computer screen, I think the world can still see me.
Okay. Yeah, over here I see like an angled iPad.
Okay, that's
on my screen.
On your phone screen.
Yeah, what I'm filming with right now.
Okay. I wonder if people can hear a echo.
I don't hear an echo on mine. I had to turn down my mic the other night doing that because I heard the echo. But I don't hear you sending out an echo at all.
On my computer screen?
I turned off my iPad, so I'm not hearing that.
If anybody that's in the chat right now, if you can see do you hear an echo? Is there an echo going on? I'll make sure.
It's got 2 live, but it just might be us. I don't even know. Either way, making this content, I'll figure it out later. But man, the technical issues is really annoying.
Yeah.
It's really fucking annoying. I can hear my voice on your camera echoing.
All right, that because I just okay, so you can't really hear, like, I guess you can I guess people can hear. Yeah, all right. So you can hear. I can hear it fine. All right, good. That's good. Just want to make sure. All right. People don't see what I'm looking at though. So anybody that's just watching this right now, I'm streaming with EWOK. He's one of my favorite artists growing up.
My man.
I've tattooed him. I got a couple of paintings of his. I got a Brainlington.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for the hiccups.
Oh, no, it's all good.
We'll got it dialed in. It's just every time I watch people's channels, they're always having these behind the scenes connection issues, and I'm always like, what the hell are they doing? Now I get it.
Yep. I want to be able to put this on my screen. That should be dope.
You mean your home screen where you're watching?
Yeah, I'm on my computer. Yeah, because I think it'd be.
Maybe go to my channel and see what I'm streaming. Would that work?
Yeah, let me see what's.
Maybe that's how you could view it.
Oh yeah, it looks cool. It's like side by side.
Yeah, it said vertical, so I guess I have to shoot up and down, which is kind of an annoyance, but whatever.
I can't turn the volume up.
Yeah, that'll echo.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to redo this little advert. Remember I told you about the adverts I'm putting in my comic.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I'm trying to make like fake movie ads from like Rambo era 80s.
Right. I'm into it.
This one says action sloth, fast cars, fast women, fast results. Action sloth stars in his 3rd blockbuster feature, Fast Justice. I got him hanging from like helicopters with guns and coming down on a rope with a fucking what do you call it? Crossbow.
Dude, I feel bad for sloths, man.
Yeah, they're going through the world slow.
Yeah, man. Like I was watching this one. The guy was talking about how like the Amazon is crazy, where um you know, like harpy eagles just eat them,
Oh man, yeah, they're horrible.
and then like you just see monkey bones and sloth bones all on the ground and shit. And I
Jesus
just said to
Christ.
myself like, oh man, that's just
I'm saying they're like the slowest thing out there.
right. Well, there you go. There's another animal that I always say, like, all right, what does a sloth do? Like, what do sloths do and mosquitoes good for?
Sloths are tree angels, I think my girl says.
Tree angels, okay.
Right, babe?
Yeah.
She's in the back. She loves sloths. So yeah, you were like, anytime you're drawing, get on live, make content.
For real, bro.
I can't think like that. I gotta like zone out and kind of get into my little space, and like I was gonna draw this in pencil and then ink it for content, because I don't know how many people want to see just light boxing and me working over old stuff, but
Dude, people love that shit.
yeah, content, bro. But yeah, but it'd be cool to do these little crossovers. I don't know what midday content, but looking into it. So yeah, I'll probably get that camera at some point. For now, I'll just use the phone.
Yeah, yeah. The camera is definitely it's more like like a added bonus because it's just like what everybody like a lot of people that do that they say once you get the camera it just gives it more a dynamic look,
Sure.
more professional look.
I'm not too hyped on having to like dump the footage off of a memory stick and run a camera cord to the computer, and I
Oh,
have a
dude,
feeling it's going to be a little bit of a
I'm the
setup.
same way.
Yeah.
I'm literally the same way, but I don't take like all that stuff. I wouldn't even know the correct way to edit.
Mm,
Like edit sound and edit all that other stuff. I just got like a fucking you know um decent microphone
mm-hmm.
because um people like the like people want to hear the
Clarity. Yeah,
yeah, such good clarity. Like they want good clarity. But
I
like
get it.
this microphone picks up fucking everything. I'm like, Jesus, it's worse than
Oh,
the other one.
yeah. So you're on the phone now, or how are you filming?
So I'm streaming off of my iPad.
Mm,
So there's that that media device I sent you the link, the black one with all the buttons on it.
yeah.
That and then that's connected to the iPad, and then the iPad is well no sorry, the iPad is connected to that device, then the device is connected to my computer, and the computer basically sets up everything from there, like um, all the inputs of like what do you want to describe the title of the video, um, so forth and so on,
Gotcha.
and then once you have that, um, I needed to get a newer one to what I had before, because with this one it saves your like overlays,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to manually put them in. You can record basically um, you can record like a whole stream, um, and then go into like post production and edit all that other stuff. And It's like it's basically what like it's what like television companies use. Like
Yeah, I'm surprised the YouTube page doesn't offer more options like on the settings. Like I noticed on my phone, I don't have any options to send invites or any of that stuff. I have to like do it in the setup in the beginning and then just kind of check out. It's not really user friendly in terms of setting up things and inviting in real time, and the camera can't get rotated once you're filming, and
yep.
it keeps wanting to set like a default vertical.
Yep. Yeah, I don't even think YouTube really even understood what they were getting themselves into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're like really building as they go.
Mm.
Because then people like demand like, oh, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we do this? How about this feature? Because I feel like if they knew about a lot of that, it would already those features would be already in there. That's why like you have all these like third party like websites that offer, oh, you can use this
Yeah.
stream key and
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I get it.
it's turned into a media empire for them.
Yeah, it sucks because I had connections with YouTube back in like 2015 or something with some homies out west, and I went to the YouTube studios in was it Burbank or something like that? It's what's that guy, the pilot from back in the '60s? I was like all OCD. Um, he used to like pee in jars and lock himself in a house for like weeks.
What?
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the YouTube facilities on Howard Hughes's old property.
Oh shit, they bought it?
I mean, it's crazy. It's like you kind of. I was out there. They filmed on the location. This company, I was like a stunt team I was working with. They filmed a little short where I painted a Cadillac. I don't know if you ever saw that video.
No, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
send you the link. It's cool. It's like anyway. So like you take the car out to this highway, and then you kind of just get off at this weird intersection. There's like a random Starbucks out there. I bet you they just basically put it in for like the YouTube staff.
oh yeah.
And then like you kind of go up a little hill, kind of, and it's like all desert out there. There's like fake plants to try and make it look a little more green, but it's a desert. But
It's
yeah,
California.
they got like a helicopter, like one of Howard Hughes's helicopters, just like parked right by the parking lot when you get there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's bugged out, but anyway, when you walk in, they have like clear floor tiles where it's just like thousands of like wires just running under the floor. It's more like so you could see it. It's kind of like a like what the fuck's going on under the floor. And you get your name badge. I got a Tony Stark name badge, which is pretty funny. I was walking around with a Tony Stark name badge all day. And and yeah, they have this big green screen room, which was pretty cool. When you're working in that day, they dressed me up like a SWAT guy. I had like a SWAT outfit. It's pretty bugged out. Did a few different stunt things that just was used for B-roll. Nothing special, but then I filmed my thing outside on a Cadillac that we put in the parking lot. But yeah, YouTube's crazy. But I wasn't really rocking my page like that then. I wish I had
Reach out to them dudes, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I did talk to my man who facilitated the whole thing, and he was saying it's just YouTube's just a weird algorithmic situation. And he was
Yep.
saying for the project that he worked on was like this hotel movie, like they filmed in a hotel out there. That they actually paid like something like 200 grand in their budget for like a PR company that works with YouTube. That literally just got them across like 100 different channels of like viewers, and I'm like, yeah, this is how these guys get pumped up. Like I don't have access to that kind of stuff. So there's definitely some sort of I don't want to call it a shadow banning, but there's definitely like a foot on your throat until somebody decides that they want to let your channel kind of get going.
Yeah, my ex-wife, ex-boyfriend. I know he's. No, stop. Oh shit. He works at YouTube. He works at YouTube.
So I'm just gonna keep making content, see what happens.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy it. It's just I like having a more production side where I can throw a track on it and leave it up for archive sense.
Dude, I when was have you ever been to Disneyland?
Out in Cali or Florida?
Florida or Cali.
Yeah. Well,
Do you remind me of Walt Disney. You're on that level, bro.
what do you mean? That definitely.
Because like when I went, because I just went to Disneyland out here for the first
Uh,
time a few months ago, like 2-3 months ago, and it's just left a lasting impression on my mind. And
mm,
like you can just like yourself, you design characters like it's nothing off the dome, you know,
mm.
cartoon characters in a way, right? And like,
Yeah, I have too
dude,
many ideas. That's the problem, dude.
that's the thing, dude. And so that's like the inspiration. Like after I left, like Disneyland to me, it was like a walking interactive installation
Yeah.
piece. It's a great art piece.
Right.
It's a great art piece. Like it, I was really floored by like the the look of everything, the colors, the way they use color, the way they laid everything out. Um, um, like the maintenance of the place, it was clean, man.
Mm,
Like there was literally people walking around like picking up trash, but like how all the rides looked, how everything was laid out, how everything was.
yeah, the
Um,
aesthetic. I got you.
yeah, yeah. It was like, all right, Walt Disney said, all right, I'm gonna make a. I want to. I feel like in his mind he did this like I'm gonna do this art piece
Mm.
for everybody to enjoy. They don't even realize it's an art piece. They don't even realize what they're walking into. You kind of have to be on that level of like studying art to see it. And I was like, oh man, like so people like yourself like that can just draw a character off the top. Like it's just getting someone to believe in like the process of what your creative energy is. Like what you're willing to put out there. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he has a twisted history, but if you
Yeah.
if you put that aside for a second,
Yep.
I mean, the impact for me as a kid, I had like I think one of the earliest memories of like watching TV was like waking up in the morning, like at 7 a.m. when the house was still asleep, and I would put on like the Disney Channel as a kid, and I would catch like like Daffy Duck and all these like old cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like eating my cereal, watching like vintage cartoons on the Disney Channel,
Right.
and and then
Same.
like and seeing, and then I think at some point maybe for Christmas I got like a Disney book, like a thick book. It was like an inch and a half thick of just like stills from their old movies from the 50s and shit. And so like a lot of these movies I had never seen, like Fox and the Hound and all these like a hundred,
That's classic.
101 Dalmatians and all this stuff. Like, but I could see the screen, like background paintings and like Snow White and all these like crazy. But it was like it was showcasing the actual backgrounds, like the paintings and stuff.
I love that stuff.
And so I got to see like the process, not the process, but like the amount of work that would go into some of this stuff. And then as I got older, I realized it was like a whole different team of, it takes a fucking village to make shit like that happen.
Right. It's not just one person. He
Yeah, man.
he had the idea. He can draw.
Yeah.
but he had a sketch and he had other artists draw it for him, and he had a way of just saying, all right, I want this, I want that, and I like that.
Yeah,
Like,
he's curating an idea and having people facilitate it.
yeah, like it and it has to be like that because it just takes so long to do,
Hmm.
to get your ideas out, and that's what I was like, yo, man, like, yeah, you got so many ideas, and yeah, it just to me just remind me on it just remind me of that, like the, what I saw, what Walt Disney do. Like, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine if there was like more people that had the opportunity to get their ideas out? Like, what would what would the world fucking look like?
Yeah, right. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, one of my problems, I don't know if it's a problem, but one of my issues I've had through the years is like I'd have all these ideas of different characters and like, you know, I don't want to like name drop, but like, a guy like Cause has like he has his go-to like guy with the with the X's in his eyes, you know what I'm talking about?
Right,
And it's kind of like his iconic thing, right? But I had on the flip side, I personally would have like, 6 or 7 different characters.
right,
It'll be like this or that. And I'm just like, it's cool. But I see like the power of having one identifiable thing as opposed to like a squad of just things. So I tried to dial it down a little and just kind of maybe spend more focus on one or two, like the Horseling tin or the Brainling tin or things that were a little more, I hate to say it, but just easier for the layman to kind of digest
right, right, right,
because I could just easily come up with like 50 of these things, like a fucking bear with a chainsaw, like back before anybody did any of that, like chainsaw, a cute thing with a knife, you know what I mean? Like nobody was doing that. That wasn't a thing.
right.
And then so when I came on the scene with like a cute thing with like an evil thing attached to it, people were like, whoa, what is this? And then all of a sudden it's like it's just like common. Everybody's doing their version of like a boxing type, whatever. And
Yeah,
I was like, all right, I'm checking out. I'm gonna keep focusing on the things I'm doing. But it turns into its own little community or universe after a while.
right. I feel like you and Toast are my favorite character. You,
Yeah,
Toast,
yeah.
and
You keep
Mode 2.
you keep bringing up Toast. It's funny because that's like such a for New Yorkers to talk about Toast. It's a certain time frame for like graffiti and like what was going on and like even that dude, I forget his name. He's super talented. I've kind of followed him through the years, but he's sort of wandered off into like this design fine art style now, which is sad for me because as a character, a cartoonist, he was like really unique and he didn't really stick with that stuff. He did things with it, but he didn't
Hmm.
really stick with it. Like to me, that would be another kind of like how Ren and Stimpy has his whole universe. That dude, what's his name, John K or whatever. But a lot of guys who are talented that influenced me a lot coming up just kind of wandered off and to do other things, which is really kind of sad for me. But yeah, that guy Toast was incredible for what he brought to the game.
Yep.
Huge. Mode is still around. He's doing paintings and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mo's still getting busy. Um,
But yeah, you're,
and
you're saying you're saying the right stuff, man. Good inspiration for sure. I got it. Like I definitely was influenced by some of those dudes. Mode was killing the game when I came into it. He was already like on top of his shit. So when I saw his stuff, I was like, that's what I want to be. Characters next to my pieces, like one man
yeah,
army. I don't need nobody. Just hook my own shit up.
solid leather formations and
Oh
shit.
yeah, all day. Good,
Yeah, can we
good
talk
stuff.
about like the evolution of your letters, like from what from what you were doing in like the '90s all the way to like now?
Yeah, man. By all means, we're just shooting the shit, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
Um,
like that was something that like like it was a distinct style um from from the East Coast. It
yeah,
was it was like, oh, this is something different. Whoa, I like this. Now, for me, this is me
Yeah,
talking. You know?
yeah. No, you're saying things that I've heard. You know, I've heard this through the years. I wrote a book during COVID. I think I brought it up. I think I told you about it.
No.
Yeah, so I wrote it. I wrote through the years. I'd always have like weird like little chapters, and not chapters, but like I'd go off on a tangent in like a sketchbook. So there'd be like
Right.
a sketchbook with like a bunch of drawings in it, just through. I have like stacks and stacks of sketchbooks through the years. But every once
Right.
in a while, I'll have like maybe 7 pages, just meticulous OCD writing on a topic. And so, like years later, I'd look back and go, "What the hell was I talking about? Like, what's that all?" So I'd try and read it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was really onto something cool." So then, during COVID, I kind of went through like this whole stack of books and just kind of destroyed the books. I ripped out all the little chunks of like writings
Yeah.
and paper clipped them in little piles, and then kind of went back through it and tried to like decipher my own chicken scratches because it was just chaos, probably writing on the train going somewhere quickly, and then I was like, man, there's some heavy content here, so I kind of like rewrote some of it to kind of clean it back up, as if it's like for a viewer to see it, to understand it. It's not just me writing to myself about something that I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
And then so I broke it into chapters, and then I kind of revised a little bit. And so through COVID, I just kind of came up with maybe like 18 chapters of like, this is like my personal formula stuff, like talking about lettering, color theory, lighting, shadows, letter structure, folding letters, everything, characters. And then in the process of doing that, I would talk about things that inspired me. And then I would go, for instance, like there's like things in graffiti that happened in the 90s, like the stuff that you're talking about that you liked of our lettering.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that was able to kind of like come about was because at the time the view and the fans were really heavily looking at like the 3D dime walls that he was doing when he came to town, which that's around when Toast and Lumet and all them came to town.
Yeah.
So because that was such a huge thing happening at the time in the scene, it allowed us to be in the exact same city in Brooklyn, under the radar, kind of like developing our stuff without being scrutinized and in the forefront. Like they were already established, so like their stage was already set for them, which was fine. But we were kind of like dirtier. We were like on the train tracks on the weekends and nighttime, painting at night, trying to do stuff. As to where they had, in a sense, they had like the red carpet laid out to just show up and kill it,
Right.
which is cool, because obviously the end result is what everybody saw, which is incredible. But we were kind of under a little bit of a different scrutiny. Like I kind of came from learning how to paint on the train tracks and illegal spots. And I mean, it's not like illegal, like some guys want to claim the 100% illegality of it. But at the end of the day, like if I'm showing up and standing in the same spot for a whole day on a weekend, I have to be watching my back because I got like a bag of paint, I got my camera, I got food with me. Like this is before cell phones. So like if you're caught out there, which I was caught out there, you're kind of fucked. You know what I mean? So
And the crew was called .com crew.
yeah, at the time it was
Yeah.
before.
Shit, man,
It was
that shit was hard.
it was before the millennium, so it was kind of like the tech.com boom
Right.
era. Websites
Yep.
being built a little bit. It's a little bit of like a futuristic component. We were trying to do like computery lettering and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good time, man. But sometimes people grow out of the people they're around, and people's true colors kind of come about, and you kind of readjust who you're investing your time in. You know what I mean? So
Right.
a couple of those people I had to trim the fat, I guess you could say, and get rid of some toxic people around. And it's funny because once you start cutting off certain people, you realize like they're not doing shit on their own. So you start to realize like, well, am I facilitating these dudes just being around? Like they're not even doing shit if I'm not doing shit. Am I the
Right.
one that's setting the pace? So then I'm like, well, what do I need to be around these people for? If they're
Right.
not if I'm carrying them in some senses, like why do I have to even deal with their bullshit? Like at least if you're handling some work and you're doing something that I can't do, I might be more likely to stick around and deal with your bullshit. But if you ain't even bringing anything to the table, like, what's the point of me just sitting around this weird abusive relationship that I got with this friend? So like certain things would come to light, and I would let things slide, and then like 6 months later, other things would pop up. I'm like, yo, homie, I gotta go over here, man. Like, I can't be around this shit. So
Right.
eventually, that crew kind of fizzled out. A couple of the homies are still around, but for the most part, the strength and the power that it had was in its like the fact that we were working together against each other and trying to compete and share each other's ideas and reformat things that somebody would bring to the table and then put it back out. And it was a good healthy competition for a while, but as things happen, it just didn't really survive the you know but it's again like I started painting with different people, so I even started having a little bit of an influence from those. I had to paint fast because I think that was like the New York street style was just they painted fast, man. I started coming uptown. These guys were doing their pieces in like an hour, and I'm just so used to spending like a whole day or whatever.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to adjust because it's the best of both worlds because I like painting fast, and then I also like taking my time. So it really just depends on the situation. I'm prepared for both, but I think the stuff you're talking about was because we were doing stuff real slow and taking our time in a environment where other people were just knocking out like some quick shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm still here, still evolving. I keep doing things that I like to go back to my roots and do things that inspired me. So if I get a little bored, I like to go back into the war chest of like what got me into it, and I'll break out old photos and look at old books and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, what like some of this. Yeah, I do the same thing too. Like this is probably prime example of pulling a book out from 10 years ago, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna redo everything that's in the book.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also the testament of you being a real artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really there as an artist yet. Not
Nah,
there's
you're
levels to
tripping.
this shit. There's some levels to this shit.
You're tripping.
Like I'm beating myself up, but yeah, it's levels to this shit. But thank you for that. It's hard for me to take a compliment.
No, believe me, I'm the same way, man. I hate hearing people trying to, say shit to me. But, that's one of the reasons why I fuck with you is because I see how dedicated you are and how much work you put in and the pace and the pressure. It's a forward pressure always. And I like that.
Oh yeah. This is it. It honestly it reminds me of graffiti a lot. Like
Yeah. Dedication.
the dedication, the constant like, oh, why do you want to draw a letter? You're like,
Hmm.
what's the like I remember people asking me like, what's so fascinating about drawing a letter over and over again? And I was like, all right, yeah, try this, and
Yeah.
then like once you get the structure down, then you want to like like you're trying to you're constantly trying to figure out how do I make this letter look more funky. How do I make this look?
Yeah.
How do I make this look good? How do I make this leather look good, just without color?
Yeah,
To
man.
strengthen it, building up a good silhouette. Make the arrow pop off here, or just how to make this leather look strong without the arrow, or the heart, or you know what I mean? Like all these
Hmm.
different things that writers might do, but like for instance, like that's what I like about your letters. Like you can make your piece look so strong without any arrows. Like the E to the W, like all these different things, right? And yeah, and it's the same thing with tattooing. Like how do I make this flower look good? You
Mm.
know, over and over and over again, drawing it a bunch of different times, and then when you do add color to it, that's just the accent.
Yeah, man. That's like the icing on the cake when you get to that fun part.
Right. Yes, Two told me that.
Yeah. That's cool
Yes.
because you had like a connection directly to like tattoo guys who also did graffiti. So what was their take? Did they have a different take as to like other tattoo artists that you meet now who have their own process, and then you're like, damn, this guy does it completely different from like Yes and these dudes at Tough City back then.
Um.
Like,
I, I,
did they try to learn it as a tattooer's approach, or were they coming at it straight up like, I'm gonna do this like graffiti, or like, what
I
do you think?
I think I don't want to speak for Yesser or Sess, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
or Med. I was there because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn graffiti from those guys, right?
Mm,
But then it turned into tattooing more,
gotcha.
and I think they had more love for graffiti than tattooing.
Yeah.
Um,
You talking about at the end of the day or at that time?
at that time,
Okay.
like my love for tattooing grew because um yeah, I could really only speak for myself, but my love for tattooing grew um from so I got arrested, man. I got arrested and I hated that shit. And
Yeah.
you know what it was around at that time, like the late 80s. It was weird. The Vandal Squad got into a lot. To me, this is what I perceived, and it was almost like the Vandal Squad and the cops started infiltrating graffiti in a way. They started using the same tactics that they used to grab
Drug
to
dealers.
to drug dealers, and they started
Yeah.
applying it to graffiti writers. And like when I got caught once, you know what I'm saying, it was like, like it was
A
almost
wake
like I
up.
felt hmm
It was like a wake up almost.
nah, it wasn't even a wake up, but it was like um and I'm not. This has nothing to do with Sess or Yes or any at Tough City, but it was kind of like um a lot of writers were spooked at that time. A lot
Oh
of
yeah.
writers were just spooked out. You know what I mean?
No,
Because they were just
I don't think anybody would take offense to that. Like, you gotta understand, it was a weird time for graffiti. Like, I can speak on this because I was there for it. I went through it myself.
yeah,
But like, and I spoke to Rob, I spoke to Sess about this, through the years, and because he was like the uptown dude, you know what I mean. So like at the time, I was rolling with a bunch of 5MH guys, and so it was a weird way. I was trying to play like both sides of the fence here. I was trying to like do like street level shit where I'm standing around all weekend at a wall, which is very easy to go figure out where I'm going to be at. And then I'm like running around with these dudes trying to do like nighttime stuff. And it was like back then these guys were going so hard. Like after a weekend was over, that next week the whole city was talking about what happened. It was the 5MH plague was like this the second coming of the 5MH crew.
right,
And that's what I'm referring to. And it got like on Vandal Squad's uh attention quickly.
right,
And so like it was tough because this is an era of a certain type of detective that was trying new tactics to like more warrants and like following people around. And so like when I would talk to Sess sometimes, he's like, I can't remember the era, the years. He was like, yo homie, they're following me into like bodegas and like
yep,
standing next to him. They're like standing next to him online like, what's up, bro? Like, how you been? And he's just like, get away from me, man. Like, why are you fucking with me? And I had heard stories that they'd be like parked outside Tough City and,
yep, they
just like,
were,
and just like harassment type shit.
yep, they were,
Yeah.
yeah, they were. Like yeah, it was these guys were spooked. Like they were
Yeah,
spooked,
man.
and um it wasn't just they were going after writers that were hardly active. They
Yeah.
were trying to shake down a bunch of different people, and so like
Well, I think uptown, everybody wanted to go hang out at Tough City. So, I mean, all they had to do was just sit outside.
right, right, and so they just wanted to see who was there, and they wanted to
Yeah.
see all right, which European writers were coming to visit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Yep. 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 Yep.
and 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 I think one of the things that they did was they planted the, oh, he's a rat. You know,
Yeah.
this writer's a rat, but really nobody ratted. You know, nobody ratted. It was just saying, because if the cops could just say, oh, that person's right. The average
Yeah.
person that don't know no better, that doesn't even have a good lawyer like that, is gonna
There,
believe it. You
yeah, but
know, and
there was also elements of that going on, dude. Like I know that for a fact. And I know this in hindsight, finding things out later, because you got to understand, I was in a bubble, kind of not really paying attention to, you know me, I'm a little stubborn motherfucker. So, like, when people are saying stuff, unless I have direct experience myself, I don't listen to like the masses. You know what I'm saying? I have many occasions, not many, I have a few occasions through the years where I was friends with somebody, and then I would hear through the grapevine, like, yo, that dude's a rat. That dude snitched on this dude. And I'm like, you know, like I have to take into what you're saying, and I'll be aware and use and you know act accordingly. But until I'm done dirty, I can't really just judge somebody based on your experience. So I would give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I saw something that I didn't like myself, and then I was able to speak on it from a firsthand point of view based on my own fact, not
right.
hearsay, not gossip, because you know before the internet and around when the internet just started, gossip was like it was a heavy thing because it was all word of mouth. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
So like,
word of mouth was crazy at the time.
yeah,
You could make
so
you can make a career for just word of mouth back then.
yeah, I mean that's what you did. That's how careers were made. It was all gossip and who said what and who saw what. And so you know, I don't think the era of like calling somebody a rat just to call him a rat was a thing yet. I think that developed later, but I think there was a lot of New York trains getting painted by Europeans, and it's no secret that you know there was only a handful at that time. There was only a handful of people kind of catering to like bringing these people to spots to do things. There wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't like now where the Europeans who are coming are like they have their own information from friends. Back then it was still a mystery, so they had to get the green light. They had to get the pass. I mean, there was Europeans coming and smacking and leaving, but for the most part, they had to come and connect with people and get brought down to spots and know where to go and what fence to climb to through and what where to clip a hole and all this stuff. Like it wasn't just figure it out mentality. That came later. And
Right.
like the thing is, like you just said, like they started treating graffiti writers like drug dealers. To me, they were treating them like terrorists. Like when I started hanging out with certain people, and they're telling me that they're wearing gloves and a fucking mask to go paint trains, and they're climbing through like avoiding cameras and shit. And I'm like, you know, that sounds really fucking exciting. But at the end of the day, homie, like I didn't sign up for this shit. I signed up to fucking be creative and like do cool shit and like, yeah, it's considered illegal, so I'll kind of evolve around getting it done my way, so I don't get in trouble. But like,
Right.
I'm not here trying to fucking be that guy that goes to every city in the world and cut holes and do all that's not my thing, man. Like I really do appreciate it and I respect it because it's a thrill side to it. It's more of like a you're chasing like the adrenaline.
Yeah, yeah. No, dude, trust me. I
Yeah.
saw it. I saw it firsthand. I saw it
Yeah.
firsthand. You know, when I
Yeah. Yeah.
painted with these guys, and you know, like you were talking about, like how Sess was like, yeah, they're following me here, you know,
Yeah.
and
And
they're following me there, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and um, you know, because you know Giuliani was on his shit, and then Bloomberg
yep.
was 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 also in office trying to, you know, they were working together to bring money into the city,
Sure.
and all that shit was going down, and then like I, you know, honestly, dude, this is what made me like you know, I didn't have money for a lawyer, you know,
Yeah,
and
man.
I wasn't trying to sit in bookings for mad hours, and then like have my name be, you know, associated with some shit, and then they're like, you know, like, because your reputation on the street, even though if you're not into some street shit, it's a lot, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And
Uh,
so I just decided to, like, you know what, let me be a tatter.
I know what you're saying because I mean, the option presented itself to me many times through the years. They're like, "Yo, you need to do this tattoo shit," And I'm talking early on when I started to realize the money that's in that shit. And I was like, A, I don't have the connections like the dudes uptown because there was a home base. Med had the spot that everybody kind of gravitated towards. And like B, I think I got my first leg tattoo in like 2000.
Oh, yeah. If you went uptown and talked to Matt, he would have been like, yeah. He would have
Yeah.
took you on. He would have said, yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
You know,
No, he was caking off like a doctor, bro. He was making doctor money back then.
oh yeah.
And
Yeah, easy.
you know, I don't know his backstory of like how many years it took for him to get up and running or what he was doing, but I know he had a good thing. And so I know the homies were kind of like found a place to rock and you guys were doing your thing. And I mean, my thing is like, if I respect a certain type of art form, I'm not just going to jump into it to make money. I'd rather keep doing what I'm doing and let that dude have that lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so I respected it too much to tamper with it on some like, you know, oh, this guy's just a graffiti dude tattooing. Like, I don't want to be that guy. That's why, like, I respect people like you, or you know um, how like I heard. I don't know if it was you who told me, but somebody told me that Teddy went out to Japan and was like, I'm going to see the source of this shit or whatever. Was it you who told me that, or my boy Rehab? I think told me, or somebody told me that Teddy went out to Japan for a
Yeah,
little
we
while.
all you all everybody does it. Everybody takes a
Yeah,
trip to Japan
that's what
sooner
I
or
mean.
later,
Like
you know?
that sort of is kind of like how you know you're in for the long haul because you're trying to find the source of shit. You know what I mean? And no hobbyist is gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like for jujitsu, I went to Brazil, homie. Like I was like, I'm going to Brazil. I got to train down there and figure this out and see what the hype is all about. I think it's a rite of passage. If you find yourself into something with a passion and you're really doing it because you love it, you're gonna find the source of it and try and go back and find and touch the energy where it came from. I feel like
Yep.
but yeah, it was an interesting time for lettering that back then and the people in the mix but yeah, the only reason, like I said, the only reason we got to get our shit together was because nobody was really looking. The people who were looking were just hating, like old school dudes who were just not into it. I felt like they could see that something's coming and they kind of didn't have a control on it. And so we got a lot of negative attention from a lot of people. Some of them aren't around no more. Some of them came around years later at gallery shows and kind of like, gave me respect later. But I'm going to tell you, they did not make it easy. I definitely
I,
got animosity through the years.
yeah, I never understood that, you know?
That's because
As
you're
long as
coming
the
from an
letters
artistic side. That's why.
as long as as long as the letters were a certain way, because like, because if you did the letters the way they did it, you'd be considered biting. But then if you did it too experimental, it's like that's not graffiti. So then what
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. It's funny
And
how that works.
like yeah, and then it's like you're not gonna let motherfuckers into the crew,
Mhm.
like it's so it's like yeah, it's like that in tattooing also. Like there's an old guard and then there's a young guard coming in, and the
Mhm.
old guard never really wants to talk to the young guard. Like I got a client that she does neuroscience,
Mhm.
and she tells me the same thing too, that like the older the older
Doctors or whatever,
doctors, not doctors, but they're like
surgeons or something.
they're not surgeons, but they're like professors. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
professors, the older professors don't like her because
Academics.
she's
The academics. You mean, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and but then it's just like, well, it's not about this person's youth or how they look. It's about the work.
Mhm.
It's about the work, and you're here to get the work done, not worry about if this person
Yeah. It's cool enough to
has
be
a
in the club.
yeah.
Yeah. That's another reason why I didn't really care about showing my face. Like a lot of these guys were all about like persona and like how they look, how they felt like they look in the scene.
Right.
That's the ego thing that used to drive me nuts. Is like the machismo of like walking around with your chest out. Like I don't care about any of that shit, homie. Like have it. If that's your thing, go for it. Like that's not my thing. And I think when you're not focused on that shit, you're only focused on what's important, and that's like your artwork is the face of who you are in a sense, you know. But there's
Right.
too many personas competing with each other, and everybody wanted to be like the superstar element. That never appealed to me. I never cared about that shit. I think if you're good enough to, you know, people are gonna curiously, naturally want to find out who you are. But like, I save that for the one-on-one personal relationship you make when you meet people.
Right.
I don't care about like glorifying standing in front of shit and all that stuff. It used to bother me. It was too transparent. I could see it. I didn't like it. You know. But again, not everybody wants to be private. So some people, I think a lot of times when you do find graffiti as a youth, there's a selfish element of wanting to become popular, obviously. You know, you heard the story all time and again.
Yeah. All city.
Yeah, but I think when you get older and if you're an insecure person underneath all that, it's not going to help if you want to become the superstar and people start kissing your ass and acting, treating you a certain way. I've seen it. I've seen people's, you know, I've seen them ruin their whole like morality and their personality and like just, you know, making making bad decisions and
No,
like
there's countless stories of that.
bro, the stories I could tell, man. There's a little bit of that good stuff in the book because I wanted to add a little drama to the book because I know everybody loves drama. But for the most part, it's not about that. It's more about like technique and like timeless approach that I have been practicing through like trial and error for the past 25 years. So I was teaching a couple people through the years, and I found myself kind of really explaining it in a way that was definitely not like the rest of the world approach. And so I just wanted to put these elements down in a book because slowly I'm seeing people through the years figure it out on their own. And I'm like, yeah, this has been shit that I've been doing for years. And so I wanted to make sure it's documented, you know, correctly so people
Yeah.
can refer to it and maybe stuff that they don't know yet, maybe they can figure things out. But my approaches and the way I document it is all tried and true and tested, and it's formulaic. So, you know, you can take the emotion out of it and then apply the approach. And if you follow the approach, it works 100% of the time.
Sure.
So stuff I wanted to just document in the book, and COVID was perfect time to just put it all together. So now I'm in the photo process of finding imagery that ties back to shit.
Yeah, I mean that and that's the dope shit. You know, like that's where I was saying about this is why I'm trying to get into this platform more because it's the documentation part.
Mm.
The having a solid amount of work that you know like my kids are into. They're like, oh dad, you got a YouTube channel, you know, and like they can watch me and they
Yeah,
troll
man.
me. My kids
Mhm.
trolling me is kind of funny.
What are they trolling you? What do you mean?
Oh no, just you know they're in here. You know, I mean, well,
Yeah.
they're not here right now. But shit, oh, your joint froze up. Is my picture frozen or is it just yours?
Oh, I think I got a low battery. That's why. Hang on a sec. No, yours is good. Mine froze up.
Oh, now it's moving. Now it's moving. Okay.
Yeah, I got. Let's see. I'm right at the hour mark. My battery on my phone's getting low, so I can go for probably I don't know 10 more minutes.
All right.
I'll probably check out at some point. But yeah, finally it worked. I wasn't planning on going live today. I was gonna do it tomorrow or tonight for the inking process. Like I was saying, like what I'm doing right now. I was gonna save this just to be able to. I think the line is easier to see, and pencil work and the developing stuff, I think it would be super boring. I mean, I'm gonna put them up just to have a bunch of archive stuff, but I feel like I'll dial it in later more and make the content a little more just, like the finalization of a certain process.
Right, right.
Because I think developing stuff is a little in the weeds for people. But what kind of people check your page? You get a lot of tattoo types, art types. Who's following your page?
I don't know yet, man. Since I'm still new to this, it's like I'm
Mhm.
still trying to figure out my algorithm. I'm still
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. Like it's you got some of your 5MH people up in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right now, or are you talking about the follow you?
On your stream.
Let me turn on my iPad and see what happens. Watch me disconnect us.
I don't know. It always says like people from like India, England. Um, the analytics on this thing is crazy. Like when they start when you start breaking down like, oh, where are people watching you? Definitely New York.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think tattooing is going through like a transitional period right now. A lot of people came into tattooing thinking it's going to be like what they see on TV, and again, it's like it's not. It like if you're a person that's like a introvert or and you like tattooing, you're selling yourself. I've made jokes in the past. You kind of like a you kind of like a woman of the night. Like you're walking the blade, but you're all of those things. You're like a salesman. You're a used car salesman. It's like all those different things because it's like it's cool to the way I guess the way the algorithm works now. It's in bots. It's
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah. What's that all about?
it I mean, like from what I'm seeing, you got to pay. So you have to pay enough money so the bots don't interact with your followers following you. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And so like when you do that now, you're you have to pay. So it's pay to play. Pay for someone to see your work. Pay for pay for all of that. And then it's like, well, but after I'm done paying and I got to pay my bills, I don't got that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it like this stuff ain't really free. They make it seem like it's free, but after a while you're gonna have to start paying and paying and paying. And it's just like, well, you're using the bots anyway to limit my viewing, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, if you want me to pay, leave take the bots off of my page, and then it's more money, this, and then it's just like, well, what can I post? And then like I can't post a person standing up with their butt tattooed, but because that's the type of tattoos that I do.
Exactly.
But then like there's this girl in the gym working out and her vagina is like hanging out,
Yeah.
and this
There-
and this
There's like
page has like
yeah.
half a million followers,
Yeah.
and nobody's flagging it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I
Yeah.
just think the bots on Instagram are just out of control. I mean, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. But I've decided to just jump off of Instagram and just focus more on YouTube and catalog everything there and to the point where like I can make a video and release it 10 years from now, and it'll do that,
Right.
And I think as a creative and a lot of the stuff that we're doing on tablets, it's inevitable that artists move towards a platform like YouTube or X or you know where like I feel like if Instagram seems weird. They want me to stream, but I can't get my stream key. Like that's just kind of iffy to me.
What's a stream key?
Stream key is basically is just a code that like each one of these platforms generate, and
Okay.
and now I could take that stream key and I can put it and say if I wanted to, I could stream on multiple different social media platforms through a software that that allows it.
So that's something that you earn or you have to pay for?
Well, I mean, YouTube, you get it right away once you're able to stream.
I see.
X, which is Twitter, they give you a stream key also. Venmo or Vimeo,
Yes.
Rumble, and Twitch, they all give you stream keys. Once you unlock a certain feature, a certain amount of hours you're on there, you get that, and it's basically your IP.
I see. Yeah,
Whereas like
I was looking into
Instagram
the
wants to hold that shit.
I was looking into the back end of like because you were telling me get monetized and this and that, and I don't know, dude. Like I've been on YouTube for so many years, I just didn't really care about you know not having to use copyrighted music and this. Like to me, it's just all like I don't know, dude. I just want to work on my stuff and not really pay attention to a lot of this shit. But I just see it as like I might as well get it up and running. So when I do what I do, but the music thing is a huge hurdle because I like a lot of times I like to edit to a certain type of song, and so like I'll edit a whole track or a whole video to a track that can get flagged in like other countries and shit.
Right.
And they used to take the video down. Now they just like tell you like your video is not shown in I don't know Czechoslovakia, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just like I don't care. Like okay, they can't see it. I'm leaving it up. It's like I didn't care to begin with about monetizing it, but now I have to find music that doesn't get caught by that like fingerprint check thing that it has. I think a lot of music has. So I use a lot of like mashup songs or like DJ tracks that have like a weird version of a track that's definitely not like a commercially used version.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of skating under the radar with that a little bit, but I mean, like for instance, like my video blog #1, the very first video I made, which I think was like 2010, it was a recap of a trip to Berlin, and I think I used like a Aerosmith song, and that shit's flagged. Like it's not even on my Instagram or on my my history or my channel if you dig back
Yeah,
far enough.
that's Aerosmith, fam.
No, I know, but back then it didn't matter. They weren't on it then.
Right. They didn't care.
It rocked for like 10 years before it finally got flagged.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So now what do I do? And they don't have a back end where you could edit and put in another song that works. They offer you music that's absolute fucking buns. The music that they offer that's like copyright free is horrendous.
Horrendous.
Oh, bro, like I was in there one time like just joking, like laughing hysterically to myself by putting a certain song on a video that got flagged, and I was just like, "You know what? I'm just going to leave this song on because it's hilarious to me." Then like 10 years later I found it and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's painful. Like what was I doing? I left this up for like 10 years. Like let me just yank this back off." Like there's no options to do that. Like to go back and fix it later with a good replacement.
But the best thing I could say is like find somebody that could just do beats for you.
Yeah, dude. I don't
You
have
know?
enough going on.
Yeah.
I don't got enough going on. I mean, by all means, if somebody knows me that has beats that aren't trash, hit me off. I think my boy Totem, his page is doing pretty good because he uses like certain tracks that aren't copywritten. So he'll make a video, original content of his own, and he has beats that aren't gonna get flagged. You know what I mean? So he's got a good thing going. But to me, I don't really like just generic tracks, man. Like for me, I hear a song and I'm like, yo, I want to edit to this song. That's just how I've always been. A certain type of music that I'm into is kind of like part of the inspiration. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Oh no, trust me, man. I thought I was able to play like video game music, and
Yeah.
I got flagged by some company
Damn.
yesterday or day before yesterday, and I was like, but this video game is being played on like everybody that
Yeah, that
has
live stream their video content, their video game
yeah
content. Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like at least figure out a way to say like you can still be monetized, but now you're getting split money with the person whose music it is. And by the way, viewers, here's the source of the music. That way both people can kind of rock. But like they're doing it in a way where they're 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 like retro saying like, oh well, the creator of this song doesn't want to be affiliated with your content. It's like, well, how about you connect our emails and then we click a yes or no at the end of our conversation?
Oh, dude, the one composer that I like, I reached out to her on Twitter.
Mm,
She hasn't gotten back to me, but like I was like, yo, is it possible? I mean, I literally reached out to her like, hey, I love your score for this video game. Is it possible to use it? You know, and
hmm
she hasn't written back, but like, you know, like that's I try to at least do that, like reach out. You know, like I find a
Yeah,
composer, I look them up. If I can get in contact with them, I will.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
I've
weird.
tried. I try to use in the past. I've used music of people that I know personally, like LP from Run the Jewels, Company Flow, those guys.
Yeah.
So like I've used L's music. He's the beat producer. So I've used his music for years on things, and I don't know if it's set up for him like this, but I wonder if there's going to be like an alert on his end where he's like, so and so used your music. Do you want to shut it down? And I hope that it gets to a point where he'll be like, oh no, that's E. Yeah, he can rock.
You
You know?
hit them up.
th-
If you
Yeah,
have, I'm telling you right now, man. If you have a beat connect, hit
yeah.
that dude up and just be like, L, can I, E, can I borrow this?
Well, that's
Because
what I'm saying. Like up till now,
because
none of the Run the Jewels or like company flow stuff I've used ever gets flagged. So I'm almost wondering. But
yeah, I would
you
look
know,
into it.
yeah. But it's just another. So that's why this live stuff might be a little bit of a better option because I don't have to worry about music.
Right.
It is boring as shit. I'd rather have something in the background.
It is boring, man. I'll be like, I want to play some music. I want to
Yeah,
play some music. I want to play some shit, and it's just like, nope.
yeah,
Like it's weird. It's weird that like they're worried about like somebody back. I'm worried that they feel like background noise generates money.
yeah. Or somebody should be owed something by having it in the background.
But then like if a car drives by and it's bumping music, do I get flagged because of that? Because I can't control what goes on outside.
Yeah, it's got to be like a certain amount of time, I would think. I mean, I watched what is it, David Finch's live videos, and this well, there was one point where he was like singing a song, like literally just like his own voice, just like singing the lyrics of a song, and his wife was like, chill, like only do a little bit of that, because if you do more, they're gonna shut us down like they did on so and so. And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, what? You can't even like sing it yourself? It's gonna catch it, or is someone gonna flag it, or
Yep.
it's just it's kind of crazy to me that that's like the world we have to deal with right now.
Bro, you got 9 viewers, fam. Keep it up.
Not
9 views. I'm not joking, man. 9 views is great.
for what, a live video?
What? It's steady too, fam. It's steady.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, man, I definitely have a loyal group of people who are into my shit, so I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, man, if I can share it, I don't mind. Obviously, I keep a tight network of people I fuck with, so I hope they understand. My man Dre is somebody to check on for sure.
Hey, folks.
My
The
9
9 people in here, throw a star in here. Throw a thumbs up if you like watching EWOK draw. The 9 people that are in here, watch them throw thumbs up and stars. Watch
and do a like, dude. Isn't it supposed to click like?
hit the like button if there's it's like that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm wondering what would be better time to do this: nighttime, daytime.
Well, yeah. What? I mean, I'm usually up. I usually get to my studio at 10. Yeah. What time is good for you?
I mean, it just depends, really. I mean, I kind of like to do my work by myself, or when it's quiet, especially if I'm gonna have like my background's kind of on mic. So like, I try to wait to when I know like my girl's gonna go to work, so I don't have to worry about hearing stuff in the background or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Because my studio is kind of connected to the house right now. But I wanted to start doing like a Friday Night Live kind of thing.
Bet.
Kind of a play on the Saturday Night Live. I got to talk to you about how you do your intro. You have like a lead in, kind of like a thing you were talking about. Like I want to make a like an intro. You know.
Yeah. So I have like my buddy. He did that frog for me. Because I was trying to do animation and this shit is fucking hard as fuck. But yeah, like this I follow a bunch of different artists, man. Again, like I was saying before, I follow a bunch of different artists, and I was gonna do like like those guys are doing like motion graphics. Like the one guy I wanted to post him today, but YouTube has to like review the video that I'm about to post, so it takes a while. So I'm gonna I'm just uploading a bunch of different videos, and then like play it for like 1 minute, and then you'll see like who the artist is, and then it'll have all that contact information and stuff like that. But like and I just hopefully the word spreads from there, and then like people could say, hey, this is my artwork, would you mind posting it and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, no problem. But again, it's like also with another idea that I had, it would be yeah, it was like I remember like back in like the 90s, it would be like showcasing different artists. Nobody really does that now. I mean, everybody does it. When they do it now, it's through YouTube or whatever. Not YouTube, it's through Instagram, and it's kind of like there's no real description of it. And so like I was thinking of doing something like that where it's more descriptive of the art.
I gotcha.
Who they are and what they do, and and just showcase like a more interactive version of it. But like my buddy, the frog singing, playing the guitar, that was from another tattooer. His name is Jay Watkins. He's a machine builder. Great tattooer. I gotta get tattooed by him. Matter of fact,
Where's he out of?
he's out of Jersey / Houston, but now he lives out here in California. And I asked him to do that frog for me, and then I just took it and chopped it up, and then put vocals to it of a video that's already up on. But it's not even, that video is not even copywritten because it's like somebody owns the rights to that music, so it only plays when it's a trailer.
Yeah, so how do you upload trailers for like like when you got a video live that you're gonna do, say tonight at 6 o'clock, and you put up the thing that says like alert me?
Oh, so you got to do it through the computer. You gotta.
Yeah. But I mean, like, how do you upload it to be like the lead-in shot? You know what I'm saying?
So when you're doing like matter of fact, I can show you right now. Let me jump on the.
No, we could do it later. I was just curious if it's something that you have to like, you don't have to do it now.
No, I can show you. It's not a problem. So this is it right here. You go to live. Go live. I don't think my stream keys. Webcam. Oh, I can't do it on my iPad. Whoops.
Is it because it's pulling from like your movies or whatever, and you don't have
so
the
you got
movies on your
iPad? So you gotta like something with the iPad you just can't do it, but the phone you can do it. But the computer has more features, and so like when you have to upload the video, set it on private when you upload it, and so nobody sees it. And then once it's uploaded, then you have to wait like a day or so, maybe a little bit longer, and then it has to be like a minute long, they said, and then it just goes from there. It'll you set it as, there's a setting where it says trailer 1, or I think trailer 2. You just put on trailer 1, and then that's it. The setting is set, and so like it could be like a countdown.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It can be whatever.
They have other options you could pick from, or you have to just upload your own? Because I've seen the countdown things, and I'm like, oh, somebody at YouTube made that for the countdown.
That countdown one is famous.
Yeah.
Like 3D anime looking.
Did you have one? You had one, or did I just see one before that looked like some Akira City or computery shit?
Yeah, like a dude riding going through a bike.
Yeah, something like that.
I have that. That one is some. It was like a lo-fi video. I have to link the. I gotta redo it and link the artist that did it. I don't want to just use it and then not get the artist any credit.
Yeah.
Because it's just like now these days, it's just like people get copyright sued or whatever,
Yeah, I had a guy designed my motion graphics for my video blog intro and outro.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, so I hit him back. I was like, "Yo, what's going on? You still around? I'm doing some live videos. Can you help me out with a video intro for the for my live broadcast? I want something kind of like a little camera vibe, thing, like a news channel kind of thing, like a joke." And immediately came back, Mailer Damon. Dude's like not even around.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I hope he's not like in Ukraine or some shit. I don't have no idea where this dude is at. But he's MIA. Email's not even working, which is funny because it was a business account. So I'm like, what happened to this guy?
Where is he from?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. I know he wasn't in America, but
Hmm.
you know,
Oh, he's the one that did like that Marvel looking one you did.
yeah, the Marvel one. He did my Brainlington at the end that kind of has like some pixely, glary shit
Yeah,
that I have Nicki Minaj yelling over top of.
yeah. That's hard.
And then I have there was a couple intros that are like 8-bit looking, like one's a cassette tape going into a VCR thing.
Yep.
Yeah, he just had like a few different ideas, and I just told him like do some retro old school shit. And he was like, you know, very cool, professional. He took, you know, he had good ideas, and I'm sure he wasn't like reinventing the wheel. It was probably like pretty easy for him, but I just didn't
Yeah.
have time to do it myself.
Dude, I thought you did it yourself. It
No,
had to.
I mean, I back in the day, I did all like the Premiere and what is it, some of the other more design orientated editing programs. I just never really got into the timing it takes to do it all. It's just a little too time. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like I know personally, like I can get good at anything I want to get good at. It's just it takes the dedication to put into that particular thing.
Yeah.
And I have to like ask myself, am I going to do this, or am I going to just continue to focus on the shit that I already have going? So like again, like I respect these people who do this shit to the point where I'd rather just go pay somebody that does that. You know what I mean?
Same.
Like ZBrush and all these like 3D programs.
Yeah.
I've taken the dive. I've watched all the tutorials and shit. And I'm like, yo, I get it. I totally understand it. I just don't want to, you know, start some new shit where I have to spend a fucking 3 months learning the language just to get a fucking 30-second thing or whatever.
It's funny you said ZBrush and shit, and dude, I'm actually in the process of learning that shit.
No, it's all good, man. Like you're a sponge. You're eating up the education of what's out there. Like that's the thing. Everything you need to learn now. There's tutorials. There's how
Dude,
tos. It's just really like it. Like let's just say you're a kid coming out of school and you're like, what am I gonna do? Homie, pick something. You'll
there's
learn
so
anything.
much.
There's no excuses. Like I don't. That's why I don't want to like get onto some political topics. But like anybody who's homeless now, I don't understand it. You could literally figure out any kind of specialty and go learn it in like a year
Oh yeah.
if you wanted to be like I got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. My boy, he's like a brainiac type of dude. He's very analytical and very smart. His approach. This dude used to work in an art gallery for years, and while we're training, like over like I would say a year's time, this guy's working on like IT shit, teaching himself how to do all this IT stuff. Yo, homie, he left his this gallery thing and went full blown into IT. He's got like the sick job, but I mean that's just like programming and numbers, and like
Yep.
you just have to dive in. And I mean, you know, but again, like that's the point. Like I just watched his process of like learning it and then just complete career
Applying it.
change, completely
Yep.
complete career change. While we're just like on the mats, like over the year or two that we're training, he's just like
Yeah,
doing
dude, it takes a little bit of time, but those
yeah,
dudes. Hey, dude, man, like there was what Netflix just put out. If you know, they were giving somebody like $900,000 a
Jesus.
year to know how to do AI animation.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yep,
like shit like that they're gonna give out money for, and like I'm just saying to myself, like, fuck, like, all right, how long would it take me to learn how to do 3D modeling? And then, not that I want to do that shit, but then like then learn AI prompts,
mhm,
and like it's gonna be crazy in the next couple of years for people. Yeah, you're
yeah.
right. Like to be homeless now, it's kind of
It's almost
like
like it's almost like you just don't want to fucking try. I mean, I don't
Right.
want to like start. What do they say? Punching down on people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to sit here and like make fun of the situation, but like, I don't know. Like, there's just so many options. You know, yeah, maybe you don't have a fucking laptop to go learn it, but like, that's just a tech example. But I'm saying like, you can learn anything now if you really just spend the time or you have the interest or the passion. You know, like a lot of times you're trying to figure something out in the beginning. There's no money involved. You're just doing it for the passion. Like, if you don't have the passion, then you're not going to figure out and put the time in. But there's a guy, I'm doing an animation project right now with a rapper who's in prison, and I'm dealing with his management company, and they're using this 3D animator to kind of develop the character out from what I give him. But this guy is basically, he's just the animator, and like I said, he's using like ZBrush and a bunch of these other programs, but I don't know really what he's capable other than the tech side. So when I hand off things, I have to make sure that I'm trying to make everything exactly spoon fed the way I want it to look, because I don't know.
I'm telling you right now, I know what he's doing. He's gonna take your designs and put a clay bubble, like 3D bubble on top of it, circle,
Hmm.
and just push and pull and carve.
Yeah, and build out shapes exactly like ZBrush.
Yeah, it basically that he's just gonna use your design, have it on the screen, and that's it. And
Hmm.
that's what I've been learning. Like, oh, I could just take my own designs and just that's it. I didn't have to just because in my mind, at first I thought I had to like design it right then and there with none of my. I couldn't put my reference on the screen. Now I could just take the reference on my screen, put it on the screen, and then like
Build. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
make the bubble transparent, and then just enlarge it to the size that I need, and then push pull, carve out, chop off, and then that's
Add an
it.
eyeball. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And but
That's all he's doing to your design. I'm telling you right now,
no,
it's
no, I
fucking
know
wild.
this. I know this. I know this. But like the thing is with like the animation, it's like they're trying to. This is from what I gather. They're trying to build out like this puppet so they can make anchor points on his shoulder and wrists and hips and head, to where they can get one of their homies in like a suit with the contact points,
Yeah,
and he can kind of like film a video with his friends, right? And like while his friends are doing their thing, there's a guy in the suit with like anchor points that later they tie back this puppet to.
yeah.
So when all is said and done, it looks like my character of him basically in this video with his friends, because this guy's in prison for a long time. And so they're
So they're
trying
just
to
doing it. They're doing it virtually. They're gonna do
yeah,
like this.
they're trying to have his like music career continue on, even though this guy is literally physically in prison, which is
Wow.
crazy to me. But like the first thing that came to mind was like gorillas, you know.
Yep, that's it.
And so
Gorillas.
I was like, well, this is kind of a first of it that I've ever heard of a music industry trying to keep a career going while this guy is locked up, because he's not coming out for a long time. I mean, I'm talking about 55 years, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And he's like young. He's a young dude. I've talked to him on the phone a few times. It's really sad. But he's got a huge following. Apparently, this guy is massive. Like, I had to look him up and find out his backstory, but it's really
Yeah,
crazy.
text me his name, and I might know who that is.
His name's His name is Tay K. I don't know if you heard of that.
Oh,
It's not.
TK, that dude. Oh shit. All right.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't know who that is. Like, to me, I just know like what I had to look up. But he hit me up on Instagram from prison. And I'm like, how is this happening? They got like a fucking phone taped under a table or some shit. Like, I don't understand how that happens, right?
Oh, he's
And
a
as
fan of you then. That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah, no, he's been a fan of my stuff since long before he was a rapper. But he's a kid. So he's telling me all this stuff. He's like, yo, I always wanted to go. He's like, you went to Pratt, right? And I'm like, what? Like, how does this guy know this? He's like, yeah, I wanted to.
What?
Yeah, he's like, I wanted to go to Pratt, man. He's like, I really wanted to be an artist. And it's like I hear the sadness in this dude's voice, because he's like, his life has changed, dude. But he was doing his thing. I guess he was on the run for like a year and a half, and he was making music like while he was on the run.
Yep.
And so anyway, he's trying to continue to get like an image built out of like a character, but it's tough. It's not easy for me because like he loves all my crazy shit, but like when I draw a bunch of stuff based on his photos, his faces and stuff, I can do a caricature kind of him. But my style is very exaggerated. So like if I do like certain features that look a little too pushed and pulled, it almost looks like I'm trying to make a satirical graphic of like a black dude, and I don't want that to be like the end result. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, dude, I know you want me to do like crazy features and shit, but like it can't do certain things. It just doesn't look good. Like I have to be careful. Like if I draw an Asian dude, I can't do it in a way that makes it look like I'm like making fun of features. You know what I mean?
Well,
And so like
remember that claymation show the something the PJs? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
yeah. The PJs.
Yeah, just look at that stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, see, the thing is, like, also too, a lot of my graphics, like, they look. If I draw a character from the front, it looks cool. But if I was to literally 3D and turn it, it might not look the same sideways.
Yeah.
So I'm having that issue with some of the stuff that I'm drawing. It's not really translating. But I'm like telling this 3D guy, I'm like, if you build out this graphic, I have to make it look. It has to look like it has to look like my style. Otherwise, there's no point having me involved at all. But B, I can't have it look like some weird squared off like caricature when a character turns sideways. So I'm having a lot of hard times trying to dial it in, but it's been going back and forth for a few months now. I'm in like a phase 2 process here. I'm like going into a phase 3 process. But
my idea is of the PJs, like kind of like reference how they do those black characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got great ideas, So we're gonna hopefully figure something out. So this is the thing, like for years people would be like, can you do a caricature of me? And I'd be like, dude, like I can. It's more work for me to do caricatures that actually result. They have to like the result has to look like the person, because if I'm emotionally connected to the person, I want it to do them justice. You know what I mean? So like, it's very easy for me to just draw a caricature that's not in any way supposed to tie back to the original.
Yeah.
And those are fun to me. But like, if it's somebody like a memorial wall or a portrait of a person like a kid, these are things that I have to really work on because I don't want to do it incorrectly. I want to do it correctly. So anyway, so the process with this dude is he's using like these Z brushes and stuff like that. But I feel like it's just so stiff. The end result looks so stiff, dude. And a lot of this AI stuff just doesn't lend itself to just like stylized shit. It's always has this like, watered down end result, which it's so strange to me.
Yeah, it's built in imperfection.
Yeah.
It's too perfect.
Hang on a second, babe. That's really loud. Got a faucet back here. Sounds super loud.
Yeah, it makes a lot of that stuff look too perfect, and it I want to get into it too, and it's just like, but then there's like some certain CGI movies that I've watched, and I've got like a bunch of books, and it's just like, once you get like I guess once it get the color on it, it starts to change. You got to get past like like what I'm learning right now. I got to get past the gray matter look.
Yeah.
And once you start putting a little color to it, it starts to build itself out. It's hard though, man. It's a I know a few people that do it, or what? I shouldn't say I know a few people that do it. I don't really know that many people that do it, but like, yeah, it seems like it's trying,
Yeah, that's why I can sit back and let the industry kind of catch up. Like, you know, at some point, I'm sure it'll present itself in a better version of it. Maybe, I don't know. Or it takes somebody who actually knows how to fucking draw that can use these programs and do it justice. Not just manipulate a bunch of circles and triangles.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I mean, like, there's this one guy. He does the Ninja Turtle stuff. There's two different people I've seen that do the Ninja Turtle animation stuff, and like, there's one guy. He's just doing a fan favorite one, you know, and it's like the Ninja Turtles from the first movie mixed with they have the look of the comic book where they have like the the their hands are wrapped and their feet are wrapped and it looks sick, you know, like somewhat ninjas, you know.
Yeah. More retro, the old stuff.
Yeah, which works. It's not overly it's not Michael Bay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I think once in a while somebody comes along and does it correctly, and then I think, you know, that can get its own lane, I guess you could say. Like you just mentioned, this dude, whoever he is, he's probably killing it, you know. But I think
He might be the next person.
That's what made Gorillas so dope when it came out.
Yep.
Because that was just groundbreaking to me. I was just like, man, it just showed me like that's what it would have been like if I went to school for that.
Dude, I thought you did that.
A lot of people said that, which was weird because at first I was like, it doesn't look like me, but I see where it's like a weird approach that people might think it's something I would do. But the more I look into it, and years later, I found out about the artist, and you know, he was a comic artist for a long time.
What's his name?
Jamie Hewlett.
Okay. I thought it was Jeff Matsuda.
Nah, who's that?
Jeff Matsuda did. I think he was working through either Jim Lee's studio or Rob Liefeld's studio, and then he did a comic book called Kaboom. He was originally doing stuff for like Marvel at X-Men and stuff like that. And he left and he went to work at Image.
The Mirage Studios, one of those Image studios out there in LA, probably with Rob.
Yeah, and then he did he worked on I think he worked on Men in Black, the animated series, and then like the Jackie Chan Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah, he got into animation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to school for it. I have a BFA in traditional animation.
Do you really?
Yeah, my girl's in the background saying, "You went to school for animation." Like, I don't like to talk about it unless it's something that's relevant. But
what?
Yeah.
I would be fucking animating my. Oh man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't realize the stuff I did was traditional finger flipping animation with paper. So I was in school with guys that were doing the digital stuff, but it was like so early on that these guys were like, it just wasn't working for them. So I was like, well, I don't want to do that until that industry comes back around and is up to speed. And like, you know, then I think Flash came out later. Oh, thanks, man. That was good.
I mean, honestly, dude, all that animation stuff, those guys are making it's like America and Korea, like I don't know, for some reason they're saying Japan's falling off. And Korea is picking up the slack, but like a lot of Japanese animators are coming here to America to animate. You know, that's why you know, like Young Justice looks the way it is, you know, or like, you know, like they were teaching a lot of the American guys how to animate, and so like it's kind of crazy what's coming out now, you know, like where I would say that like if you're talking about the flip book stuff, that like that is still, I think there's some dude he's doing it digital though. He's doing the digital flip like 2D animation. But he did it was like a fan favorite of Dragon Ball Z.
Hmm.
I think his name is Mystery Meat on YouTube.
That's funny.
Yeah, and he did it was kind of dope. He did like a Dragon Ball Z animation. It was kind of cool.
Hmm. Yeah, there's talented dudes out there, man, and I feel like a lot of times the fanfare, the fan favorite stuff gets brought up more than with more interest than these industry backed projects, which is hilarious because you would think the industry would want to. I mean, I'm sure they're grabbing up talent, but like the fan made stuff seems to get a lot of traction these days too.
Yep.
But
Honestly, I think creator owned projects. Are you gonna publish your book yourself,
yeah,
dude? Oh man, go to Image.
nah,
They
no,
would
no, no.
love you, dude.
Yeah, no, this dude, that's a whole nother topic, man. We could talk about publishing. Image is still around. It's changed. It's not the same as what it looked like back in the day, but they're still creator owned in that sense. You get all the copyright for your work. But I don't know, man.
Everybody's going there because it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. These days. It's
The thing I want to publish myself for is because then I can publish second edition, third editions for years.
yeah.
So my goal is to put out a black and white version first, because that'll just show all the line work and the ink lining and all this.
I love that.
But then I'm gonna go back and do a illustrated painted whole version and painted, so it'll look like a graphic novel, like a full blown graphic novel.
Yep. I love that stuff. Honestly, man, like I love like Greg Capullo is like one of my favorite dudes, and he's like working on his new book, Creech 3.
Okay.
And yeah, when he does all the pencils, when he starts showing all the pencil work, I'm just like, yo, the pen, don't even fucking color it. Just
Yeah.
do it
No.
like how like remember how like
Yeah.
some people used to just put out comic books black and white back in like the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah. I mean, like Garfield and shit was all black and white stuff like that. But I think so. You may not know this. There's a Brazilian guy that just came out with a Spider-Man book called Gotham's Gargoyles of Gotham, and he put out like a sepia tone, moody kind of like version of his new Batman story. But he also put out like a noir version, which is just like all black and white with like a little spot of red. Not too different from like Frank Miller's Sin City style,
Yeah.
but it has like this classic horror movie kind of vibe to it because it's just black and white and gray tones with a little bit of spot red here and there to emphasize like drama or whatever. But even he just said that like that was just a back thought for issue number 1, but they said that it sold so well that they're going to do that throughout the whole series. So
Yep.
he's going to have 2 versions of his stories come out now, the colored sepia type. He has like a very cool color palette. So he's going to do that version. Then he's going to also do the black and white noir version, which is for a person like me. I want to see the artwork more than coloring, because
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest turnoffs for me. And a lot of people are saying this now, and I don't know how the comic industry doesn't listen. No, a lot of people just don't like the way comics look. I don't like the colorful, shiny computer coloring, and it just looks too like computery to me. Like I love that old newsprint,
Yep.
retro, vintage, dirty RG, 3-color separation look. And obviously that technology is going to change things, but I think that was one of the main reasons why the buying audience kind of, I don't know, is vanishing from the comic industry now. The whole industry itself just looks ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
And I
No,
don't know
no,
who
I agree.
I don't know who's running these companies, but its stuff looks like shit. And more, you got these creators of people who worked in the industry, and they're putting out their own books because they want it to look a certain way.
Yep. And that's what I like about Image, because all those books, they just have this look to them. It's
Yeah,
not, they're not doing crazy 150 colors per face.
yeah.
Just it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's being lit certain way, you know, like it's just one of my favorite books I've been reading, um uh and then I think they just finished it, which was The Magic Order.
Okay.
And you know, like the first book one was great, you know, book two was great, you know, all the books that came out were great.
Mm.
um and I hope I know the book is kind of like, he said, Millar said he wanted to write a book that was kind of like The Sopranos meets Harry Potter. And that's what kind of like the book, that's how the book reads, you know what I mean? It's just
That's
like,
cool. Yeah, that's dope.
yeah.
I can dig it. Yeah, I don't really buy that many comics these days, dude.
I'm still buying comics.
I mean, no, oddly enough, I'm saying I buy like old stuff off eBay and shit that's like
Yep, me too.
stuff. I have a ton of that shit I'm buying constantly, but like I don't buy comics these days because I go into the stores and I'll pick up like maybe 10 books from all different topics. And dude, I can't figure any of this shit out. Like there's no viewer friendly way to like pick up a story and know what the hell's going on. And like the design layout inside covers are terrible. The fonts choices are terrible. You know, like it just doesn't feel, and I know there's a time speed element to it, but like the art sucks. Everybody looks the same. They all just look like they went to school for comics and they all want to look and get a job. It just doesn't appeal to me at all on any level.
Hmm.
And then I see certain people who are just like killing the game and they're like in a lane of their own. And I just don't understand. I don't understand how it's just, I don't know who the editors are or who's running making these decisions, but it's just like I know for a fact the comic industry is suffering, and it's like nobody's making the changes it needs to have options to. You would think with all these comic movies coming out that it would feed back to these like fans going into a comic shop and buying comics, but it's not, because it's not friendly to people who are just like casual walking in off the street wanting to buy something. It's not really for them to like pick up a story in the middle of some random shit and know what the hell's going on. They're not coming back. They may buy one or two and they're not coming back, that's the problem. There's no way for these people to kind of get interested. And that's why I don't want to be, I've given up trying to think about like getting into the industry, because I don't want to be part of that industry. I just want to make things for myself that are kind of like a merchandise item that I can continue to sell for myself. That's very hands-on. I have all creative control. I want to do something that people like an industry can't do. I want to, rated R, vulgarity, nudity, nonsense, just whatever I feel like putting into it. I don't want to be restricted to any kind of, you know, telling me what I can and can't do. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I know you don't have those options when you're a company or a big artist doing a job for, like, say, DC or something. You have to follow these rules, which is, everybody needs rules once in a while. And I'm sure if somebody offered me fucking Batman tomorrow, I'd have to readjust. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I,
of course, of course, of course.
but like, I don't want to have those restrictions, especially if I'm doing something that's, you know what, like when I listen to music, especially like, hip hop or rap or whatever, like I appreciate albums that it just sounds like these dudes are having fun in the studio. And like when I draw stuff, I want people to be like, this dude is having fun doing this shit. And the result looks like it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's you know, who can I say is like that? When you see their work, you just like, oh, this guy's having fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to think, right? It's messed up.
Oh no, he does something uh Shaolin Cowboy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jeff
I listened to a podcast with him.
Jeff oh fuck is his last name, yo.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know the name though, but I listened to a podcast with him.
His comic books are fucking fun looking.
Yeah.
He's chopping shit up.
Yep. Making it look like old fucking movies and shit.
Yeah. You know?
And he's doing his thing. He's killing it. That guy's definitely doing his thing. There's a couple cool animators I do like, but it always ties back to the fact that they can draw. Like
They
the
can
guy.
draw.
Yeah. Did you ever see this Tron cartoon? It was one series and then it never got redone.
No.
Oh, dude, it's insane. It's this guy, what's his name? Robert Valley. Incredible artist from Canada. But it's sort of like an Eon Flux type of vibe mixed with like newer coloring and technology. He's really incredible. I'll send you his Instagram. He doesn't post that often, but the stuff he does post, you're just like, yeah, this guy's definitely has an approach, his own language, his own look. It has its own, you know. He's really taking it far. And did you see? There's a Netflix. I think it's called like something in robots, Love and Robots, or something like that.
I love that. I love that series.
Yeah. Do you remember the one story where there's a guy or a girl? I don't remember. She's like ice skating on a lake, and there's like a dragon under the ice chasing her.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
That's his work. That's his work.
Yeah, that dude's dope.
Yeah. So he did. He's done a few things in the past that I like, but I picked up on his work because he did this Tron cartoon after the Tron movie came out a couple years back.
I know you're talking about.
It's a Disney cartoon they put out, but it's just the look is insane and the style and the caricaturization of heads and just the way he draws. But it's all because this guy actually can draw on paper, you know. So he's forcing the program to kind of do what he wants it to look like, as opposed to the program just making a puppet that animates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he knows where to put everything
yeah.
to make it look like what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and he's a brilliant dude. I've listened to a little bit of him. I've seen some podcasts. I've seen some writing about him. I don't want to call him a recluse, but I definitely find that he's more like behind the scenes doing his work as opposed to like out in the front trying to be like a superstar type of dude.
Right.
And again, this is all the stuff this is all my wheelhouse. Like that's all the stuff I'm all about, man. Like I don't care about all this showboating shit and
Oh, dude, but that's where it's going. It's going to where you can just create what you want to create, put it out there, build a strong networking system, and then that's it. You know,
yeah,
there's no more. Honestly, man, there's no more of the bullshit. You find a publisher, or you find a publisher and that's willing to put your work out, and then that's it. Like you could either do it all digital, you could do it hardcover, you could do it soft cover, you can do whatever you want. I think that's what I'm starting to see. That's what I'm starting to see, where being your own artist and doing what you want to do, it's starting to really happen.
Yeah, I mean, nothing good can hide forever, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I just keep pushing. And I kind of, it's gonna sound arrogant, but fuck it. I think it was like a year or two ago where I was said to myself, like, I'm not gonna sit around and wait for shit to happen anymore. Not that you should anyway, and I don't think I ever did. but I was more concerned with like how it was received. I think I was a little more polite, trying to like be nice about how my shit came out. Now I'm just like, yo, I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do, and I literally am not sitting around waiting for anybody. Like I don't care. Like you can catch on later. I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do, and it's coming out. I'm doing it my way, and I'm not sitting around waiting for like the old guard, like we were talking about before. I'm not
Yeah.
waiting. I'm not waiting for them to come around. Like I don't care anymore. Like I'll do what I do. That's
Dude.
it. That's it. There's no conversation. You don't get to add input. You don't get to like steer me in a direction. I'm doing what I want to do. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's all about you. It's like
Yeah.
that. It's all about me. It's like I gotta, and I'm gonna be around people that's gonna have that same energy.
Yeah.
That's how I just feel like it is gonna happen. It will
Yeah.
happen. It has to happen. You know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta be about what you want to do. You know, everybody else done it. I was talking about it last night about George Lucas, man. He put himself out there. They
Yeah.
panned him for it. They were like, "This movie's gonna suck," and now look.
Yo, the industry denied his he tried to shop Star Wars to like all the big studios. They said no.
Yep.
I mean, imagine that.
They said no. All of them.
Imagine an industry set up to make money in film, and this dude comes up with his idea to them, and they say, "Nah, we're good. That ain't gonna work."
You know,
That's what I feel like is the
dude,
comic industry right now.
I said that last night. I said guys like George Lucas, yo, guys like him. He heard no so many times.
And he said, "I'm doing them anyway. I don't care."
I was saying this. I was saying it last night, man. Like,
And on top of that, he
no.
saved the fucking toy industry at the time. How
Yep.
about you know about that? The toy
Yeah.
industry was crashing,
Yep.
and Star Wars came in with his merch deal, and he killed it. He revived the toy industry for kids, the kids' toy store industry, from remolding the aisles and everything, and the
Yep.
whole idea of like how much money he gets for licensing. He changed the whole shit. Not to say everybody has to go in and change everything, but like, at what point do these people start listening to the artists, to the visionaries? And
Dude,
I'm
look
sure.
at McFarlane.
Yeah, same thing.
Look at McFarlane.
Yeah,
He
same
came
thing.
in after George Lucas and helped bolster the toy industry. He's like,
Changed
no,
it
you
up.
need more articulation. They were like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
They're like, look what they're doing in Japan. A lot of articulation.
yeah. And a lot of it was pricing for him. I've listened to his podcast stuff where he's talked about it, where he was trying to hit a price point, and they were like, "Nah, we can't do that. We can't do that." And he was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And a year or two later, they're like changing the whole industry for him. And I know it sounds fucked up, and it sounds like a too good to be true kind of scenario, but like he stuck to his guns and he proved the point. And you know, it's
Love
changed
it.
changed the whole thing. But he's an eccentric dude. Like a lot of the stuff that's happened to him is luck, but it's also his like I'm gonna do it my way kind of
His determination.
yeah, is what sells it to people. But he even talks about doing his first toy fair and being around a bunch of other toy companies at the time. And like I forget which big store chain, JC Penney's or some shit, came into the whatever it was, came into the where they were. And one of these big dudes, his assistant is who kind of said, hey, this is the guy I was telling you about. Come over here. And they went over to Todd, and Todd didn't
Yep.
even have his samples yet. He just basically hooked up a booth. And just because of his prior comic history and who he was is kind of what got his foot in the door. But right there in that moment, he could have fumbled it and said the wrong thing, and his entire trajectory would have been different. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's because he rose to the occasion correctly in the moment. But that's also like knowing what you're capable of and saying I'm going to do it anyway. But the opportunity that really pushed him out was that first opportunity. And so, there's no saying he may not have done that on his own later, but like that one is what made that year set his career and path in motion. And it could have gone in a completely different direction had that not happened. Because, all the other toy companies that were next to him, the little smaller companies trying to get put on, who knows where they are now? I don't know.
They all laughed at him.
Yeah. I don't know who those brands were, but they were all trying to get that big sale for that show when this guy was walking through the floor and everybody stood up straight like, oh shit, look who's coming. And that guy's assistant said, look, boss, this is the guy I was telling you about. And he didn't even have samples yet.
He was a fan of Spawn and Image Comics. That's what it was.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. So anyway,
I love it.
He's an interesting person to look at and listen to. He's still going. I'm sure he's got to be kind of worn out at this point because he's not getting any younger. But he still has that fire in him when you hear him talking. And I know he gets brought out to like a lot of companies to like talk and stuff about like, like Google flies him out type shit to like talk to their management team and shit. He's like one of those guys.
Oh yeah, because I mean, like the numbers. I think Google, Google, they have the computers, they have the. All right, why is your company so popular amongst the toy industry?
Yeah.
And they have to do it. They have the data. They have all the data.
I don't think it's about toys. I just think it's about how you get messages out there and broadcast and sell yourself a certain way. And I think there's value in the way he talks about getting his stuff out there. And I think if you apply those kind of concepts, you can do it for yourself. It's kind of like how, like I was saying about my book, all the formulaic stuff I explained. That's not just a graffiti. Like you can apply it to art, anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why he talks to certain like Fortune 500 companies about shit.
Yeah, I mean, he knows. He knows that like, at one point these companies are losing the connection to their customers.
Yeah.
And they are always trying to figure out how to keep their customers, how to stay on point, how to stay one step of the of the pack.
Yeah.
And a guy like McFarlane, I know his Google search is crazy.
Oh yeah, he still has currency on his name. His name still rings bells. And he's still doing comics. How about that?
Yep.
I mean, he's not drawing interior sequential pages like he used to, but he's like a Disney guy in that sense where he's hiring all the right dudes. And
that's it. That's all you need to do now.
Yeah. And I don't know what he's like behind the scenes. He may be one of the worst bosses to work for. I don't know. I'm just saying he has a vision. He gets shit done. I mean, he talks about like his work ethic, and it just sounds manic and crazy. But like, I guess it just takes that sometimes to get to where you want to be. But
dude, all the guys like him, some people are gonna not like what I say, but Elon Musk, like, he's a guy that's sleeping in his factory, just to know that this shit has to get done.
Yeah.
And what it takes to run a company, and what you have to do, and what the sacrifice is. Like a lot of people don't get that. They're not gonna get it. They're not gonna understand it until that day comes when they own their own business and they got to do what they got to do, and they got to, oh man, I can't go home right now because guess what? I gotta make rent. I got to do this. I got to do that. The drive, the creative drive, man. That's it. That's all I can really say what it is. This is the creative drive.
No, definitely. But as a boss, I don't know if that's like the best boss you want to have. Like
Who,
I work,
Elon?
no, like a McFarlane type, or like I worked for Mark Echo for a few years. I think about 19 months. I worked for Mark Echo back in the early 2000s, and he's a cool dude. Like, believe it or not, he's actually like a cool dude. But there was sides to him that were very hard to work with. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
because he's so all over the place with ideas, is that you can't lay down one thing and work on it because he's already off to like two other ideas right behind it. And so it's almost hard to like lock him into like committing to like, are you sure I can go off and do this now? You ready for me to go do this? Or you're gonna have 5 more ideas in the next hour. And we would have like Friday night weekly check-ins for like the whole, what we worked on that week, plus what we're gonna go into on Monday to work on the next week. And it would suck because you're trying to go home, and he would have these meetings would start at like 5 p.m. on a Friday. Sometimes these meetings will go to like 7, 8 o'clock, and everybody's just trying to get out. You know what I mean? Like, it's the end of the week. Like, we got to go. And so he's like coming in, bouncing off the walls with ideas, all manic and crazy and fast and talking all quick and getting all these ideas and pulling up references and find me this and let's do that. And hold on, I got this comic book with this thing. And he'd run out and come back with like it was just like, it was crazy. But I understand, like, that's the Elon Musk thing that you're just talking about. But it's like he just wants to feel like at the end of the day he's setting his team off in the right direction. At the end, when he leaves, he's like, my team's going and they're gonna come back with what I want. And so I get it, but like, I don't know if that's because, I mean, let's be honest, the team behind Elon is the one who's doing all the work. He's just kind of steering the boat in a way, cutting checks.
Yeah.
And the same with like a Steve Jobs, you know what I mean? Like, these dudes are who they are, but they weren't necessarily doing it themselves.
Nobody sees the vision.
Yeah. And like,
now Mark Echo does Complex.
And let's be honest, like, what? Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember Complex when it was in its first iteration.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know this. That's Mark Echo.
Yeah. I was there back then. That was the early start. And he got a graphic from, I think, this guy Delta to do the first Complex logo, black and yellow and white, I think it was.
Which Delta, from Europe?
Yeah, the 3D Delta.
Really?
Yeah. And he put it on a shirt.
He did the first one? Oh, I remember. Oh, no, I remember it. I remember it it was in the source.
Yeah. I don't remember, but yeah. It was a good time for that back then.
Bro, when I tell you I was a graffiti head, man, and I painted, I just
Yeah.
I just didn't want to lose my friends to shit. But yeah, I remember. I remember that. I remember when I remember that first design from Delta.
Yeah. Back to the book, man. I was talking about things that were happening back then at that time, like the dime walls and the 3D. I think everybody was copying off a dime at the time. Not everybody, but like people who were trying to do 3D. They were all doing their little diamond shaped 3D lettering. It was a huge thing. And the whole folklore was who did it first. And in New York, everybody talked about, oh, dime isn't the first one. It was this guy Ernie from back.
Right.
And so this is just folklore. People have been saying this for years. So when it was time to start talking about influences in my book, about who was doing impacting stuff, and so you had 2D graffiti, which was classic New York style graffiti, and then you had the 3D stuff. And so me coming from a New York, fan of New York graffiti in my beginning, I wanted to find a place in between the 3D and the 2D. So we came up with what we called the 2.5D style, which is kind of funny. Yeah.
I like that, the 2.5D.
Yeah.
Niggas is trolling.
That was our shit. We wanted to do flat letters with just shadows and surfaces and stuff. So we called it 2.5 day.
I like that.
And then,
I like that.
that's what we were doing. It was fun times. We were doing things on walls that like weren't really being seen. It was fucking our heads up. We were like, this is crazy. Dime has his shit, but we're trying to do our own thing. And it was like we were working it out while no one was looking at us.
Yeah, I remember when he stepped out on the scene.
Oh wait, sorry to interrupt. So my point was, no one's ever gotten the two of these two to talk about it. You follow me?
Who? Dime and Ernie?
Yeah. So I went and got both of their inputs, and I got them talking about each other's work and years, and who predates what, and who was inspired by who. And I don't want to spoil it, but I'll just say that the actual source is not what everyone thinks it is. So it's interesting what they say, but one of the two, says something that predates everything that people think is what inspired it. So
Okay.
it's anyway, the point is it's documented, so now anybody, you can have these little conversations who did it first, but now it's all put down, and I have both of them talking about each other's work and dates and inspirations and actual years, and I got pictures that correlate to what they're talking about from them, and so it's pretty cool. I went a little deep with the research of this backstory. And you got guys like Totem and stuff that are still killing it today, with the 3D stuff. But
I felt like one of the first people I saw doing. I know it was Ernie, but I remember seeing Delta.
yeah, so Dime credits Delta to coming before him, I think. But I don't think we would have saw that on the stateside because that was more of a local thing for him. Not local in the sense his neighborhood, but like local to continent, to Europe. Yeah. So, and he also mentioned some other people that I had to go and look up, and it was very hard to find. But I did find a couple of things that what he's talking about. But
I remember seeing early Delta stuff because
yeah,
Cento, the original Cent,
mm-hmm.
was is friends with Delta.
Yeah, he was out there a lot in Amsterdam and stuff like that.
Delta and Mode 2.
Yeah.
And also Lumit. I think Lumit was.
Yeah, Luma is mentioned. He had an honorable mention from Dime.
For me.
But yeah, there's a couple people that pushed Dime into supporting what he was doing at the time. I think is really because they didn't know what was going to get liked or what wasn't going to get liked, especially coming in New York. The hard critics.
Oh, New York. Oh man, the hardest critics, boy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, New York has got to be one of the. I see why like there's a lot of writers, man. When they come to New York, they just get scared. They're like, "Cause it's just, oh man."
Yeah. Yeah, man. Time flies too, dude.
I wonder if some of them older writers, when they look back at like that, oh man, I wish I never did that to him.
Oh, dude, I got people apologize. I've had people apologize to me at shows and stuff. One of these dudes just passed away recently. I'm not going to name names, but he came up to me at a gallery show that I was supporting. Somebody else showed up at. And this is a dude who was a constant shit talker. I'm talking like hater. Like, I hate to use the word hater because I think it's corny. A lot of people just resort to saying everyone's a hater when they really just got their own shit kind of fucking them up. But anyway, this guy used to just, I didn't really know him, so I didn't have a reason to have any opinion towards him. But this dude would sound off on me on fucking websites and shit for years.
Really?
And I'm just like, what the fuck did I ever do to this guy? and then years later, this dude came up to me on some like, hat in his hand type shit. all, you know, kind of like maybe had a guilty conscience or some shit. I don't know, but
Right.
you know, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I ain't going anywhere. So figure it out. If you got a problem with me, that's something you got to work out because I'm not going anywhere.
Oh man, the letter science, man.
Yes.
You gotta, you gotta, I, you gotta admit, man. Like, you know what I think it is? I think what it is a lot of those writers back in the day, they felt like they came from a pure source.
Mm-hmm.
They had all their styles are like, oh, my style, I had to like earn this style,
Mm-hmm.
and and like they fail to realize like, yo, there's a creative force right behind you. The creative force doesn't stop.
That's for real.
The creative force of the human mind doesn't stop with your generation. I came across that just thinking about that shit. Like, yo, my mom used to always tell me, there's a kid that's gonna be like 18 years old. He gonna be drawing just as good as you. I was like, yeah, all right, but I got 18 years ahead of him. You know what I mean? Like, I have experience where that person is still figuring it out. And so like that's the thing that like the creative energy never stops, and I think to keep it going, even though it doesn't come from your lineage or whatever your family, like learn to nurture that. I think that's the thing. People don't know how to nurture. They only know how to tear down.
Yeah, that's also a being raised in New York City type of thing too. I noticed that doesn't come from anywhere else. I don't see that anywhere else. New York has a very spoiled approach to a lot of shit that they have at their fingertips, and they downplay it. And then when you go travel for your first time and you see how people like reciprocate it elsewhere,
Oh yeah,
it just
it's a different.
reinforces. You're just like, oh, I don't need to deal with these attitudes that these dudes be having, you know. And it's funny because there was a change. There was an era where people just wouldn't appreciate it or give it any credit. Then there was an era, and it's gonna sound like I'm trying to like lay out some sort of groundwork for success, but it's not. I'm just speaking for what I saw. Like then there was an era where the people who were hating would give you credit, but they would do it in a snarky way, like where
Right.
they're trying to like save face. They'll be like, because you already know they're already full of themselves as is, but they'll be like, well, you got all your fans. Why don't you just do it? Why don't you just do that with your fans? Like you got a lot of fans, right? And I'm just like, am I gonna have to punch this old motherfucker for, or is he really just this much of a fucking cocksucker that he can't allow himself to give up some props?
Right.
And
The
then
fan.
and then the full and then the final phase is when people legit light up when they see you in the room. They just you can see it in their face. They just get excited. Yo, that's the end result,
Right.
you know. But and it's funny to me because some of these people who I'm actually cool with now, they were not like that back in the day. I had problems with these people. They were just like really confrontational and not trying to give credit. And maybe to their credit, they got older and maybe matured a little bit. But maybe it's just because I worked hard enough to get to get through in a sense, which makes me think like, well,
Right.
are they still assholes to like the regular dude, or is it just like
Yes.
that's the part that
Yes.
bothers me?
I bet.
That's the
I
part
bet
that
any
bothers
amount
me.
of money.
That's
Dude,
the
I
part.
bet you any
Yeah,
amount of money that they're assholes to telling you right now, man.
yeah,
It's like that in tattooing. It's like that
yeah,
in tattooing. Like it's it, there's they make it seem like there's an abundant amount of people out there that you can work on or you can paint or whatever. No, it's not. It's a finite amount of resource, and you have to get really good at it. You have to really sit down, and there's a lot of concentration in this to the point where you're sacrificing a lot of fucking time,
yeah.
right?
Yep, yep, yep.
And then there's a guy that's been tattooing maybe 5-6 years longer than you, and then you figure out something that they couldn't do,
Yeah.
or you're just more productive. You're more out there. You might just be a little bit more outgoing, man. Like, look, there's a lot of people I wanted to work with. I wanted to be friends with, but it's just they got some shit. They got some hung up shit, and instead of just laughing and collaborating, they just want to, like you say, they want to be snarky. They want to be fucking assholes.
Yeah.
And they're not thinking They're not thinking long term. They're only just thinking about, like, they just want to attack. They just want to attack you.
It comes out of their insecurities, man. I can't fault them for it because I know it's just what they are. But I'm gonna tell you one story, and I'll tell you who it was after we get off. But I got a funny memory, man. I showed up to this thing. It was a book premiere thing, a book signing thing, or a book something or other. And I wasn't coming out much, but it was a favor to show up because they said, come on out. So I was like, all right, cool. So it was like, I don't know. I fucking showed up and there's like a bunch of people outside. I'm talking like 100 people out on the sidewalk. And I'm coming up off the train. I'm already late. So I'm coming by myself. And I roll up to what I see looks like a little bit of a line on the side. So you see like people out front, but then you see a little bit of a line. The inside is clearly fucking packed. They got it like you got to go through like the security or like a person at the door. And so without even really looking, I just say to the lady at the front, I said, is this the line? Is this like the VIP line? Because I had to put my name on a list to get in. So I'm thinking she's the one I check with, right? I was like, hey, is this the line for like VIP or friends and family or whatever I said? And before this lady could even answer, this dude, who I'll tell you later, loudly says in front of everybody, "Oh, you don't have to wait online. You're famous." And I look over to see this dickhead, who I'll tell you who it is later. And I'm like, and because he caught me off guard, that's his one opportunity that he got to ever fucking try and be funny to me. Because the next time he says something to me, I'm now on guard. I'm ready for it because I know that that's where he's trying to be. So I'm kind of prepared for his like snarkiness now. But like in the moment, I didn't realize if he was trying to be funny because I didn't realize who was saying it till I looked over. And then I realized the funny part was he was actually waiting on the line that I could get in on. That he couldn't. He had to actually physically wait till capacity would let regular people come in. And I just realized, I was like, yeah, this dude to this day, he's just got like that thing about him. And I'm just like, yeah, let him try that shit again. He caught me in a moment where I was like, he caught me in a moment where
I know him.
You'll know who he is. You don't know him personally. It's not a circle that you would know, but you know who he is, which makes it even funnier. But yeah, it was just one of those funny times that I remember. I remember my name was just starting to sort of ring bells a little bit, and I was kind of getting a little bit of reciprocating, I guess, the effort that I was putting in, you could say. And I was just like, oh, this dude's trying to be funny in front of people. That's cute. But now I'm kind of prepped for it next time. I let it slide because I just kind of like slid right in while he had to sit there. And I thought that was kind of like a funny payback for being a clown. Because he was kind of hoping that it wasn't going to work. Like I was just rolling up to the wrong line and I would be forced to sit in line where he's at. But I was on some like, yeah, I'll see you inside kind of thing.
Oh man.
But anyway.
Graffiti, man. Graffiti is just funny to me, man.
Yeah, it's always been funny. That's why I say, dudes, like if people got problems with somebody, it don't really bother me because it's something that you got to deal with. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. So if you got a problem with me, you got to work it out for yourself.
Right.
Because that's a problem that you're going to have to seek therapy over because I'm not going anywhere. I don't care what you think or what your opinion is. I don't care. I'm doing what I got to do. It's something that you're going to have to work out. I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, there's no shortage of pieces of shit in graffiti, I'll tell you. So tell me,
politics, man.
so tell me about the book, man. When you what are you up to?
What number I'm up to?
Yeah.
11. Oh, 12. no, 11. I'm up to 11.
When
It's
did you
just
start?
hard, man. Like I started beginning of October. I realized like, oh snap! I put this book out 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and I think as I got better and better at drawing and tattooing, I just didn't want to look at the book because I was like, oh, the book looks horrible. Like all the stuff in it is just all dated, and I don't even want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I'm just like I opened it up to look at it and I was like, oh, this came out 10 years ago. All right, this would be, maybe I should just start. I should just redo it. And this is the idea. The idea is just to redraw every dragon that's in the book,
Mm-hmm.
update them with just a new look and kind of keep the same composition, but drawing them to fit the actual body of a potential client. Whoever buys it, say, hey, I want to tattoo one of these designs on you, and they could just print it out and put the stencil on, and that's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then just because I was gonna, it was supposed to be a series of books. It was supposed to be the whole zodiac, Chinese zodiac, all the different animals. But then after I put this book out, I went through a divorce, and then like it was just like, oh man, I'll work on this later on, and now I got a little bit more time to do shit, and now I want to like fully document it, and just fully document the process of drawing one of these dragons.
Yeah, I got you. That's cool.
Yeah. As
you published it yourself back then, or how'd you publish it?
Yeah, I published it through a mutual friend.
Yeah, I know Adrian Lee.
Oh
yeah, you guys. If there's nothing else, I know tattooers definitely put out some books, man. There's a lot of quality fucking.
They put out their own books.
Quality tattoo books out there.
Yeah. And I was grateful that he put this out, the first one out. And now I'm gonna redo this and then put it out again, and then more digital, and a digital version, and also a hard covered book with like 20 extra designs on top of like what I originally put out.
Gotcha. That's cool. You gonna go through the same publisher? You gonna do it yourself somewhere else?
No, I'm going through Adrian.
Yeah. Does he have his own publishing company?
Yeah.
That's all tattoo people or other art?
He mainly does tattoo books.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, man. So this book should be out. I should be done with this book by like maybe.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be cranking out a bunch of designs the next few weeks.
So you've been staying on a steady broadcast schedule, or you just jump on when you jump on?
Nah, I mean, you know what? I was in the beginning, and then like my grandmother passed away, and my uncle passed away, so I had to go down to Jamaica to go bury them. No, that's all good. She made it to 100.
Oh damn, she was chilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
So
pretty wild.
now it's just trying to get back on track. I'm gonna be doing like 2 or 3 a day in the next couple of days, and then have everything done. Hopefully, have everything done by like the end of December, so I can give it to Adrian, so he could publish it, and then start working on like what the book will look like, and different ways of I'm trying to get meta with it. I like the aspect of like what's happening, how you could just I mean, I'm already drawing on a digital device, so
Right.
it's one step closer to. I don't have to do the whole scanning. I gotta just send the files, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that aspect now, and then now it's just getting it to be where it could go in the future, where this IP can do in the future, really.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, books are weird because it's like I know it makes a huge footprint of like paper and all this shit, and there's no shortage of books, man. Especially graffiti books. But I have something that's different. I feel like it's more needed than say like a photo book. There's no shortage of photo books of graffiti.
Right.
And no one's really written a comprehensive, and I don't want to call it a how-to book, but it's sort of like a weird cheat code. But I don't want people to buy it like a cheat code and think they can just cut some corners. But
Right.
but I want it to be like timeless. Like 25 years from now, when this shit gets picked up, they're gonna be like, God damn, this dude was doing this shit, and he was already kind of like figuring this stuff out when. Because I still see people now doing stuff that they're still missing this shit. They're not. They still don't understand some of the stuff that I was doing. So I have to document it, put it in a time frame so it's not lost later as to who did what first, kind of thing. So
Right.
there's a pressing issue to get things out there, because I think the more I wait, the more, especially now with like copying and the internet, it's like there's stuff that's just getting copied and other people are like laying claim to it, like they fucking came up with shit. It's really kind of crazy. And I'm already off to doing other things, but I owe it to myself and the obsessive person I was at that time to put it out.
Yeah.
I'm still that dude. I'm just kind of like hitting other goals right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on other things, but I can't just now like let that fall to the wayside and have other people pick it up. Like you said, like you said, I got 18 years ahead of that guy behind me. I can't just go wander off and let that other person come up and lay claim to shit that I did 18 years ago. I gotta let people know where it came from, not just for me, but
Right.
for people who are curious and historical reasons. And
Oh yeah. I mean, I get it. I've anything. I mean, like I think the only thing I can say I did for large format printing. Maybe that's it. That's about it.
I mean, you brought different your own black
Inks. I mean the
inks
ink.
and
I
yeah,
made the
yeah.
ink, but that's about it. That's really it. But I'm not looking to do anything. I'm not really looking to make a name for my because there's just so many the person to a young tattooer, and they just like what who
Yeah, exactly.
and 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 so I've just come to the realization, just like I just want to put out as much work as possible. Like whoever comes across me, I have this much work. That's why I really like about YouTube now. Now that it's like, all right, there's video. Look, there's video evidence of me actually.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
my hand right there. That's my voice.
Yeah,
Um, can't nobody say I didn't do anything. Like they can't really say, well, blah blah blah, whatever. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
who I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to learn, right? But then like as I started to develop my own hand and in my own eye, then it became more spiritual for me, you know. So it became my own thing. But um, yeah, it's a weird thing, you know, like how time is, you know, like and um making sure that I think now it's just making sure that I can give something to my kids. You know, they have something like, yo, here. You know,
Word.
if all else fails in your life and you need to sell some stuff, you can sell this stuff.
Right.
You can put this in and do this. You can here's some t-shirt designs you can make. You know, this is there's an ample amount of resources
Sure.
that that's here. And then, you know, like, and it's not even just for my kids also, but it's also for grandkids, and then it's also for my cousins. Like, hey, you want to use this? You
Yeah.
know, you can use this. So you know, it's for family. And I think that's the that's where my mind is at, you know. Like it yeah, there's more to this shit than just um um me and shit. And I think I like when my family sees I actually did something. Oh, you put a book out, wow. And to them,
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
Sure. That's cool. So, where's your family from in Jamaica?
They're from they're from they're from Montego Bay. I can't really
Okay.
say where exactly from, because my family, like, they're really really conservative. They're really low. I don't know what they were doing in the past where they can't really say, you know.
Mm.
My dad, I don't know what my dad's side of the family is, but on my mom's side, they're from the countryside,
Mm.
deep in the woods somewhere. I don't know where it is, but they're out there, and it's kind of like Deliverance, yeah,
Jamaica style.
Jamaica style. Like,
That's
if
gotcha.
you know, I want to take a bunch of artists out there, like my boy
Mhm.
Regino. I love to take you out to Jamaican shit and go out there and eat, eat crazy and just
Yeah.
lamp up and chill.
I've been out there. I went to a wedding once out in the grill.
Oh shit.
But we jumped off of this like cliff. What the hell was it called? It was a bar. It was a big cliff jump they have at the bar. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, you fly into the airport and then you just go either left or right. I think we went down the East Coast to get to
Okay.
New, and it's gorgeous out there, man. I love it. I'm sure it has its sketchy sides too,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Sketch.
it's
It
pretty
can get
dope.
it can get real sketchy out there. I'm like, yo, chill.
Mm.
Yeah, when I was out there, I was like, all this shit just changed. It was like so much.
Mm.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I gotta go back out there soon and go visit some family members and whatnot. All right, this dragon's all done. All right,
Nice,
folks, there you go.
good shit. That's what's up, man.
Hey, your family's always been from Brooklyn?
No. My pop's side was from Queens, and my mom's is from I guess like way up by Canadian border in New York, like Native American, I guess.
Okay.
But my pops, my family side before they came to America was like Romania, some vampire shit.
Dope.
But they came in the 30s. I got like some gangster photos of them like in suits and shit, standing in like outside some staircases in old New York City, man.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I got these from my pops because I just lost my pops last November, and he one of the last times I went out
Oh,
there,
no,
he pulled.
condolences, bro.
Nah, it's all good, man. But it's about to be a year, which is kind of weird for me. But one of the last times I went out there, he pulled out some old pictures, man. I took pictures of the pictures. And I think I'm gonna somehow try and figure a way to sneak it into my book, even though it's not really like that kind of content. But it like
Right.
my pop side has like been in New York City since the 30s. So it always cracks me up when I would get like we were taking it back to this graffiti shit. Like in my early career as a writer, I was raised upstate New York, like 2 hours north. So when I would come to the city in '96, I was the outsider. You know what I mean? So there was this funny thing where these locals that were here before me were on some like, "Oh, you ain't from New York," that shit, you know? So it's funny when I find this stuff out. I'm like, "Yo, motherfucker, like I'm more New York than you. My family's been here since the 30s. Your family came here in the 70s. Like,
Right.
what are we talking about?" Calling me an outsider. My family's been here since the 30s, homie. Still in Queens. But, you know, my ties personally is Brooklyn when I got here in New York in '96. But I mean, you know, my family, my cousins and stuff, and uncles and shit, and they're all still here. Some are working in the court system, some are police officers, some are firemen.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like real city folk. But yeah. Someone said greets from Germany. Damn.
Greetings from Germany. Germany in your house. What's up?
Marcus, my boy, what's up? Jeff Darrow, he said, yeah, we must have been talking about artists. He said Darrow. You gotta look. I don't know if you're familiar with this dude, Jeff Darrow. He's doing some crazy shit. He's been doing crazy shit. It's nothing new, but he's one of those really detail oriented artists that again the industry doesn't know how to nurture somebody like that. He has to kind of do his own thing, which is sad. You know what I mean? But you know, I guess you're in a time now where you can go out and support with like Kickstarters and this and that of people you're into. And like I said, my fan base has always been very loyal. I have a very strong, solid buying base, and so I just want to put out good content that they can be into.
Yeah.
And I want to look at this comic book shit as almost like a little collectible. You know what I mean? Like a little one-off, first edition. Because once they're gone, I'm moving on to the next color phase. But I'll pull out something right now to show you kind of like the vibe that I'm going for, the quality and the thickness.
Yeah.
A little bit of market research for myself, you know. You see, so I think this
Sloth looks crazy.
I think this is like a Japanese artist, but it's just a quality little, you know, you'd get a kick out of this artist.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'll send you their Instagrams. I think it's a girl, a Japanese chick. It's got like a watercolory, washy kind of color style to it, which is really dope. It has like like sort of sepia, earthy colors, no real white, you know. But the coloring in the pages has a nice old feel to it. And you know, again, this is not stuff you're not seeing like this kind of quality when you go into a comic shop. This is not what's on the shelves, which is kind of messed up and doesn't make sense to me. You seeing this?
Yeah. Oh, whoa. That was she got a fatty.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah, man. So
Hey, yo, I like that. Shorty in the pink.
yeah, man. So that's what I mean. Like seeing stuff like this, I was like, yeah, why am I not putting my own stuff out?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
So anyway, that's the plan. It's been a bucket list thing. I've been wanting to do it for years.
nice quality, you know. It's a thick book, so that's why I'm doing a bunch of ads, like page filler stuff that ties back to my 90s, late 80s comic collecting.
Jeff Darrow, that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
I thought you said Jeff Darrow was in the room. I was like, what?
No.
Yeah, but Jeff Darrow, that's the dude. That's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He's one of my favorite.
Yeah, he's incredible. For sure. I probably got about 10 minutes left in me. I plugged my phone in.
Yeah,
I plugged my phone in. That's why I stuck around.
Yeah, I'm about to jump off in the same amount of time. This was fun.
Yeah, man. Sitting and drawing with you. I never get to sit and draw. I'm always getting fucking stabbed up. Whenever I see you, I'm getting work done.
Facts. Yeah, Zach G said he said super dope work as always. The added bonus of the interview conversation was really excellent. You should do more of these. Yeah, man. I'm gonna try and do that, man. I'm gonna try and do that. I know some really interesting people, and EWOK is one of them. He's in the comment section, so check his page out. Give him a follow.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Hit the notifications so whenever he goes live, watch him either on some Grand Theft Auto shit or doing some fly art paintings, working on his comic book, uploads that he does of wall productions, stuff I used to always see when I was living in the Bronx, going to the different boroughs, Queens, Brooklyn, you know, some stuff he's done in Manhattan. I was avid
I mean, you were there, bro. It was a good era.
Yeah.
It was a good time in New York.
Wait, one second.
That was a good time for New York.
Yeah, so yeah, there's gonna be more interviews in the future.
Yeah, it was.
He says, "Oh yeah, GTA player, my guy."
Who said that?
A guy that's in my stream right now, Zach G.
Oh, I'm not seeing these. I don't see it. Oh, maybe I'm just seeing my comments, I guess.
Yeah, it's only on your comments.
Ah, I see. Yeah, man, I'm an avid a full barcode GTA player, OG GTA player. So if anybody knows about that world, that's a whole nother world. Snipe life. Definitely on some in the weeds shit with GTA, but that's not for everybody. But there's a couple videos on my channel of that. You get an idea what that's about. I try to upload a monthly highlight reel. But yeah, this is it. I'll probably throw this up finished. It's supposed to look like an old 80s Rambo kind of cover. Action sloth.
That looks crazy.
I'm telling you, I need an ad from you to be like a tattoo ad. Like imagine.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Imagine.
I got. Oh, I'll draw one up. I'll draw one up tonight.
But you have to have a funny approach to it, man. Like draw it like how it would feel in the 80s. You know, like think like real primitive tattoo machine, real primitive like tattoo tech, like a simplified funny dragon, or draw like a person standing with like their hand over their crotch and then like their body whatever, something. But then we'll make like a fake ad where it'll be like, you know, call this number, and you can put your rates, like a funny rate, like, you know, or some shit. I don't know. It's just, I want it to be funny. I want the pages to be funny, you know, when you flip through it. Did I show you any of them? The other ones?
Yeah, you did. I think you showed me a little bit.
Yeah, they're fucking hilarious. They really are fucking funny.
I gotta find some old vintage tattoo.
Yeah, find some old stuff and like remix it. Like, here, I'll show you a funny one.
Like these are all based on like the old kung fu shit. Can you see it?
That look hard.
You know what I mean? But that's, and I got other ones too, but like these were ads that I kind of remixed.
Yeah.
Like they were selling things back in the day. When you look at it, they look ridiculous, but they were literally selling like things you could talk to birds and shit, and you could mail away for like animals and stuff. So I kind of have.
Who was thinking of all this stuff, man?
I don't know, man. But this one's like talk to birds and mystify your friends. So I got this guy. He's like, "Hey, birds, suck my dick." Look at this. They were selling this. This is a real product. I redrew it, but turtleneck dicky. These are real things. So Fallout shelter, all these Fallout shelter ads and stuff. This is my.
That was big.
This is my duck and cover. Bert the turtle yelling at some kids that get under the desk.
That was big. I remember that.
Yeah. So
I remember seeing that in comic books back in the day, like Fallout. Like,
look at your man right here, though. This is a Adonis. You know. So anyway, I have a few.
Yeah. I dig it. I dig it.
I got a few homies doing some ads. I want to have them included. One guy's a DJ. My man Scheme Richards in Philly. Another dude has a comic shop here in the city. He's going to do a comic shop ad that's going to look like an old vintage ad. But I'm going to help them out, like as long as they have the idea.
Right.
You know, so like even if you wanted to like pass me some elements, I can kind of draw it. Well, it's up to you.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought it'd be kind of funny to have page fillers just to beef up the book. You know, so it's like it's a complete experience when you're reading it. You know, it's kind of like a full book, just all nonsense, made up shit that could spin off. Like, come on, Action Sloth, who wouldn't want to see this as a cartoon? You know, I was thinking about like a Brainlington, like a brain surgeon kind of doctor ad, something like that. Be kind of funny. But anyway, so that's it, bro.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. Action Sloth.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it a day. Get to some.
All right, man.
Got some things to do. I appreciate you finally working it out. I know we stopped and go a little bit, but it was cool.
Nah, this was fun, man. This was real fun. I think yeah. I think you got a few new followers, like two or three new followers, but yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yo, EWOK, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you're my dude.
Talking to you.
Hope everything is going good out there with the fam and everything.
Yeah. Yep. Fam is good. Gonna head back right now and make some dinner for the wife. But thank you again. Thank you for having me on your stream.
Oh man, I appreciate it. It's cool content.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, I'll talk to you more offline. We'll figure some stuff out. Anytime, man.
Yeah.
Holler at me again. We'll figure this out again.
All right, definitely.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
No doubt.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.